These Democrats, they always showing out. Prayers to the family that happened in Chicago. I think her name is Goldman. She passed away for no reason. All because of the administration of Biden. All they had to do was just close the border. They didn't close the border. Now innocent people dying for no reason, man. She was just walking with her friends, college student from Loyola, walking with her friends, ended up passing away. What's her name? Sheridan Goldman or Goldman? Forgive me if saying her name wrong, but prayers to the family. But let's go ahead and get into it.
Medina is from Venezuela and is in the U.S. illegally. Over the weekend, Chicago police said they were questioning a person of interest. We now know Medina has been charged with Sheridan Gorman's murder. We now know Medina, seen in this photo from the Department of Homeland Security, was charged with first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated unlawful possession of a weapon. Homeland Security says he was arrested by Chicago police in 2023 for shoplifting. We found court documents that say Medina stole a few $100 worth of merchandise from the Macy's on State Street. Medina was released on bond, did not show up for court, and a warrant was issued for his arrest, which is still outstanding. In a statement Sunday before charges were announced, the victim, Sheridan Gorman's family, said in a statement Sunday that reads in part, "We are gravely disappointed by the policies and failures that allowed this individual to remain in a position to commit this crime. When
Good morning.
Fail, whether through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, the consequences are not abstract. They are real, and in our case, they are permanent." Gorman was a few months away from finishing her freshman year at Loyola University, Chicago. She was from New York, and her family says she lived each day with intention, faith, and kindness.
A tragic nightmare story that conservatives, people with common sense, Republicans, Trump, we've been warning Democrats about this time and time again, that there are major issues with allowing a bunch of migrants from third world countries into the United States of America, the same way that Biden did. And then when we try to deport those individuals, these people boo-hoo, whine, and cry about the deportations rather than the fact that these sanctuary cities are protecting illegal immigrant criminals, right? Out of one side of their mouth, they claim, "Oh, we just want the Trump administration to deport the criminals." Well, if that's the case, then why don't you give that same type of smoke to the sanctuary cities who are protected?
Yeah, we survived another night. Good morning.
These sanctuary cities,
60 degree. Good morning.
That is what's causing.
Good morning, Pretty. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Democrats don't care about that. They can't even stand for the victims of crimes done by illegal immigrants. They can't do it. They can't do it. And as a result, we have stories like this that we got to talk about here today. Again, tragic story out in Chicago involving an illegal immigrant, a 25-year-old by the name of Jose Medina, who was charged in the killing of Loyola student Sheridan Gorman in Chicago. Now he's been charged with first-degree murder and aggravated.
Prayers to the family, you guys. Prayers to the family.
Now the story goes like this. Apparently on March 19th, around 1 a.m., the victim, Sheridan Gorman, was walking with a group of friends in Rogers Park, and police say Jose Medina approached the group, pulled out a gun, and opened fire. Gorman, the victim, was shot in the head and died at the scene. So you have an illegal immigrant running around shooting young 18-year-old college freshman girls in the head, right? Point blank. Just shot her in the head. So let's learn a little bit more about this individual because as I laid out at the beginning of this video, all of this is a result of Democrat policy. Every single time something like this happens, you can trace it back to Democrat policy.
Right. All they had to do is they got detained, send the ass right back to where they came from. No, they get detained and want to keep them in jail and then release them right back out. Don't do that. Send the ass right back where they're supposed to be at. Don't put them in jail, then release them right back out. They're not citizens. If they were citizens, they should stay in jail in America. They're not citizens. Send the ass back. And this is why the innocent lady right here passed away. That's crazy.
When you talk about how is this preventable? How can we prevent this? getting rid of these Democrat policies.
Right.
So without further ado, let's go ahead.
Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Let's grow. Let's grow.
On Chicago's iconic lakefront, police say a Venezuelan national named Jose Medina shot and killed 18-year-old college freshman Sheridan Gorman while she was out late last week. News Nation national correspondent Nick Smith is following this story for us. Is near the scene where Sheridan Gorman was
killed. Good morning, Daniel.
Nick, good morning to you. We do know that a hearing is expected today for this man.
That's right, Marky. That is a detention hearing, and that's later today in the Chicago courtroom. And of course, we will be there. His name is Jose Medina. He has been charged in the killing of Sheridan Gorman, that 18-year-old Loyola College student. Marky, this is what we know. According to DHS,
again, he shouldn't even be having a court case. Send his ass to jail. Period. He's not a citizen here. If he was a citizen, yeah, he'd have a court case, but not send his ass up out of here.
Shoplifting a month later and released again. ICE is asking Illinois Governor Pritzker and Chicago officials not to release the suspect again. And they've launched an arrest detainer, saying the city's sanctuary policies have enabled the murder.
Facts. You can trace all of this to Democrat policy. What do I mean by that? Well, let's start here. He was led into the country under Biden. His open border policies. He was allowed to stay in Chicago, a sanctuary city. And because of sanctuary city policies, and also the soft on crime policies, this guy was a criminal, had a criminal record, but was caught and released, right? Caught and released until he eventually killed somebody, which is what happens the vast majority of the time. These individuals have records. But he was caught and released because of the soft on crime policies. And he was allowed to stay in Chicago, a sanctuary city.
Good morning, Matt.
Because of their sanctuary city policies. So you're talking about three major Democrat policies here at fault. Open borders.
Good morning, Big Little.
Cities, soft on crime policy. All of those came into play here, right? Are part of the reason why this guy was not prevented from murdering this young girl. Her life could have been saved had you changed any of those policies, right? That are responsible for allowing this to happen. That's the reality. That's the reality.
According to the Safety Act, the judge in this case, Peter Gonzalez, made a determination that he was not a threat to the community. But then this individual skipped out on his required return to the courthouse. Medina chose not to come back to face justice, so a warrant was put out for his arrest, which wasn't actually executed fully until he was arrested the other day, also in connection to the murder of Sheridan Gorman.
And so when they caught this guy initially, had they detained him and had ICE deport him on the spot, she'd still be alive.
Right.
A young 18-year-old college freshman, a young girl who is just getting started with life, would still be alive if it wasn't for the sanctuary city policies from Democrats.
Right. Like right now, he in court. He should not even be in court right now. Send his ass back to where he came from. Period. The man had messed up too many times already. Fuck that court case. Send his ass up out of here. He's not a citizen.
It's frustrating to think about. This is preventable. What's even more frustrating, I'm going to show you guys, is some of the responses from Democrats. But I want to finish this.
New statement released Sunday, Sheridan's family saying they're gravely disappointed in the policies that have allowed this to happen and called for change, saying when systems fail, whether through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, the consequences are not abstract. They are real. Adding this was not random misfortune.
And that's what happened, 007.
Preventable act. Marky, again, the family just dealing with that tragedy right now.
Just gut-wrenching. Makes me sick for them. And so, Nick, what more are we learning about that night? She was just out, having fun with friends when she was killed?
Absolutely, Marky. Not too far from where I am now, not too far from the campus. They were walking along the lakeshore simply to take in the northern...
Right, and the Lakeshore Drive. The Lakeshore is a nice place to be at. Man, I had many parties and dates over there on Lakeshore. It's a nice little place, nice, quiet. The water, you know what I'm saying, nice and smooth. It's a clean area. That should never have happened. It's a clean area.
Don't believe that this was a targeted attack. They believe it was actually random, that she was not an intended target, that Sheridan may have run off when the masked gunman just appeared.
You're in Texas,
out of
I
nowhere.
don't blame you.
She and her friends simply wanting to take in the sights, not too far from the campus. Now, surveillance cameras show a masked man walking up to the group with the gun. Sheridan was trying to run away when she was shot and killed. Investigators, again, said they don't believe that she was an intended target. A memorial has been set up along the pier where Sheridan was shot. And while this was a tragic incident, Marky,
see, it's a nice area.
To note that the Illinois Policy Institute recognizes that crime was actually down in the city of Chicago in 2025. And our own News Nation affiliate reports that crime in Chicago was down.
No, the crime is still going up. The report of crime is down. Them reporting on crime is down. That's bullshit.
13%. Marky.
That's still frightening for those of us who live here and walk that lakefront every single week. Nick,
right, so I'm a bike on there, man.
Be a blessing to all. Just
play basketball over there.
I appreciate it.
Basically, what she's doing is that she's calling BS on some of these fake crime statistics.
Yeah,
right?
it's fake.
Yeah, crime might be down 13%, whatever you say, but it ain't safe here. Right?
Good morning, chat.
We
Thank
feel
you guys
good.
for being here. Name is
This is what
Deontay. Thank
she's
you,
trying to
chat,
say.
for being here. Everybody is welcome.
What you have here, again, tragic story. I mean, you're talking about young girls simply taking a walk, enjoying life, right? The way that any young American should be allowed to enjoy life, right? Young American girls
Bruce,
should be
good
allowed
morning.
to do that. They should be allowed to go jogging or to exercise and to just live their lives without having to be worried about being killed by illegal immigrants. But in this situation, apparently, the illegal came up to them while masked, and she may have tried to run away, and he shot her. That seems to be the story. I don't know if the illegal was trying to rob them or what. I'm not entirely sure. But what is really frustrating is to listen to the response from Democrats. Like, for example, I want you to listen to this response from this alderman talk about how she believes that the victim may have scared the illegal immigrant, and that's why she got shot. Take a look.
This morning near Toby.
That's the problem. She a congresswoman with bogus information, and she's spreading the shit, and people gonna listen to it. Oh, she's right. No, she bogus as hell. What she finna say?
Speech in Rogers Park when a masked man approached them and started shooting in their direction. Gorman was shot in the head and died at the scene. No other injuries were reported, and police have not announced any arrest. There was also an armed robbery nearby around the same time. We spoke to Alderwoman Maria Haddon earlier this afternoon. She says those two incidents are not connected.
From what I've been told so far, right, from what police know, from speaking to the students who were with her, it seems she might have, that as they were just out, people go out to the beach all the time, right, and they go out on the pier, they walk around. So the kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally. But that's all we know. So it from what I've been told, what police investigation has turned up so far, what they've been able to share with the media and with Loyola University, we don't believe there is cause for broader community concern.
Wow. Wow.
That's
so
crazy.
I want you guys to understand what this woman just said, right? An illegal immigrant who should not be in the country, right, being protected by these Democrat policies.
There you go. Democrat Party defending the criminal. Make that make sense. How you defend the criminal? He shouldn't have even been here. She gonna say, "Oh, that's crazy, man." That's wow.
Ran up on a group of girls who were simply just walking in a park. Reportedly, the victim tried to run away and was shot. Regardless, we know that she was shot in the head. That's what we do know. This Democrat goes on television and says, well, she might have started the migrant. The illegal immigrant might have been afraid of her. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time is the response. This is what they're saying. This is literally what they're saying. They're saying she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. as if this was completely and totally random. It was not completely and totally random. The illegal should not have been in the country. That's not random. The illegal should have been deported a long time ago. That's not random. An illegal committing a crime like this is not random. This is the type of stuff we've been warning about time and time and time again, but Democrats ignore it. They sweep it on the rug. I guarantee you, this story should be probably the top news story in the country, right? Domestic. We talk about domestic issues. This story.
It should be. They don't fit the narrative.
But I guarantee you, BS now is going to sweep it on the rug. CNN is going to sweep it on the rug.
You got to go to X to get the information.
Right? But it's continuing to happen over and over and over again. And people are losing their lives, but yet you don't see the outrage from the left, the Democrats. And again, this is happening in liberal cities. For whatever reason, Democrats don't care. They don't care about their constituents losing their lives. They care more about the illegals, the criminals. Well, wrong place, wrong time. I guess you should have been walking with her friends, right? Like, what? What? Like, seriously, like, what? But that's how these people think. This is how far they will bend over backwards to defend illegal immigrants. So let's actually listen to an alderman with some common sense react to the narrative here that this was wrong place, wrong time.
Joined by Alderman Raymond Lopez, who represents Chicago's 15th Ward. Alderman, it's good to see you.
Right, 007.
And we know
They coming in breaking the law. So then how they gonna continue with the? They coming in breaking the law. That's bogus as hell, right there.
Family pushing back on that. She says her death cannot be reduced to that. What are your initial thoughts on this tragic shooting?
Well, Natasha, my heart goes out to the family of Sheridan. And yes, it is very callous to say that simply we must accept this as just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, because this was 100% avoidable. If we had allowed common sense to prevail in our city. And
subscribe if you guys haven't already. Subscribe. Thank you, guys.
Citizens who choose to engage in criminal activity here in this country, that gentleman, to call him so, might not have been here. And Sheridan may be alive today had we taken action when we first apprehended him in his first criminal activity. Unfortunately, choices were made, as Sheridan's family has said, and they have to suffer for it. And tomorrow will be the detention hearing as required by the State Safety Act to see whether or not that individual remains in custody until his trial. I and others will be there to show support for the family, to show support for all victims, to ensure that he stays behind bars long enough for ICE to come retrieve him.
We have learned the charges the suspect is facing include felony first-degree murder, and we were just discussing this with News Nation's chief legal analyst, Jesse Weber, on the show an hour ago. If this means that he might be able to make bond, let's take a quick listen to his analysis.
Of these charges means that when there was I believe it was a few hours ago, there was a request for an ICE detainer because they weren't really sure if he was going to be charged or not. That's moot. With those charges, by all accounts, he's not making bond. There's going to be no bond. So now it becomes
I believe when people have a second chances, third chances, and all that to do better, but this guy chose not to do better at all. Throw his ass under the jail, out of America right away.
Question, how did this happen?
Jesse believes.
I don't know, man. I won't put anything past these Democrats when it comes to what they'll do to protect the legal immigrant.
That he will not be out of jail before he is tried in court. But looking back, and you allude to this, the suspect was arrested in 2023 for
MAGA.
shoplifting in Chicago. Do you look at that release and think that was clearly a mistake? Or was it the right move to release him after an arrest for something
people.
like shoplifting?
Press for everybody.
Right, let's be real. Arrested for shoplifting should have been deported. But Democrats don't want to deport those people, right? They don't want to. They want to keep them. The criminals, the ones that steal, they're nonviolent. Let's keep them, right? Ridiculous.
You know, what happened was that according to the Safety Act, the judge in this case, Peter Gonzalez, made a determination that he was not a threat to the community. But then this individual skipped out on his required return to the court.
There you go. He's still doing bullshit.
Medina chose not to come back to face justice, so a warrant was put out for his arrest, which
Wow.
wasn't actually executed fully until he was arrested the other day, also in connection to the murder of Sheridan Gorman. That is not acceptable. And while your previous panelist said that a bond is not likely, you never know what's likely.
I was about to just say that, Grit, 60 Grit, just about to say that we got too much empathy here in America. Other countries let somebody in America do some stupid shit like that, you would no longer be alive. But here in America, we too much empathy. That's crazy.
In Cook County's justice system, because judges have the ability to review the evidence and make a decision whether or not someone should remain in custody or will be sent home with electronic monitoring. We've had
Yeah, the Bible say pray for your enemies.
Sent home with
What's that, Matthew
monitoring.
chapter 5, verse 44? Love your enemies, pray for them.
To our communities, sent home time and time again. The young woman who was burned on the train had been attacked by someone who had been through the justice system over 70 times. So I will never say anything is completely off the table until I know that individual is locked up, waiting for that ICE detainer to be executed.
Facts. That's wise. You can't trust these Democrats. You can't trust their judicial system. You can't. You can't. They love illegals too much. So we're going to see, but the point of this video is that Democrat policies are why this happened.
Period.
I mean, you can point directly to the policy and say, yeah, this is why this person was allowed to run around freely, okay, long enough to murder.
Yeah, we gotta get stronger again.
Her life was just started, right?
Right, life was just started. Watch this.
Finally speaking out days after an illegal immigrant was arrested in the shooting death of an 18-year-old college student. The governor saying, quote, Sheridan Gorman's murder is a tragedy and the person responsible must be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Condolences to the family, friends, and Loyola University community grieving this devastating loss. May her memory be a blessing. The illegal Venezuelan migrant.
And that's bullshit. Because on the video, another video, you got Pritzker walking down saying everything's cool, it's all peace out here. But you don't see that he got all his Secret Service behind him, bodyguards protecting him as he walking down the street late at night. The same street that he's walked down, the same street this young lady life got taken away. Pritzker's full of shit, man.
Is facing 6 felony counts, including first-degree murder. The hearing for Jose Medina has been postponed until Friday. This tragedy hits close to home for our next guest, who is the assemblyman representing Sheridan's hometown of Yorktown Heights. Republican New York Assemblyman Matt Slater joins us now, and we thank you so much for doing just that.
I'm from Chicago, west side of Chicago.
Young life taken far soon.
Western Roosevelt, Madison and Laramie.
How is your community reacting
Chicago,
to this
Cicero
murder, and how is she being remembered?
Well, thank you, Carly, and good morning.
47 and Vincennes. I've been all through Chicago, north, south, east, west, Oak Park, Forest Park.
Completely devastated.
Man.
We are doing everything we can to stand with the Gorman family. We, of course, extend our heart.
And they all vote blue no matter who, and that's sad.
Father Tom, her mother Jess, her sister Maddie,
Sister and Van Buren. Oh yeah.
To rally around them, to lift them up, and to honor Sheridan.
That's not too far from the blue line.
She gets the justice that she so deserves.
Logan Square, that's Western. The street, Logan Square. You take Western Street down to Logan Square.
By having green lights installed on all of our front porches and coming up with a community vigil this coming weekend.
And you know, she was out with friends on a night where everybody was out, and she was the one that was senselessly targeted by this horrific crime.
Doing great. It's nice and sunny out here in Rockford.
Over Lake Michigan,
a little chilly, but nice and sunny. Thanks for asking.
Her family is left
Teddy
shaken,
Bird's address.
and they released a statement saying, "We are gravely disappointed by the policies and failures that allow this individual to remain in a position to commit this crime. When systems fail, whether through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, the consequences are not abstract. They are real. In our case, they are permanent." I read a portion of Governor Pritzker's statement, but he also said that we need to stop politicizing heinous
Subscribe if you haven't.
We heard the family just there blaming policy decisions on her death. So what's your reaction to what the family is saying right now about what caused this?
I think the family is in just such immense pain, and they're looking for answers, and deservedly so. And right now, again, our focus as a community is the family, is rallying around the family. But there is no doubt that justice and answers are needed. I think the governor is completely wrong in his statements. There is no doubt, as the family has pointed to, that this is a result of failed policies and open borders. And right now,
okay, man,
we need to
okay.
take a hard look at the procedures in place, at the systems in place. And we also need to remind people that here in the state of New York, the governor and Democratic leaders, they are negotiating right now to further instill sanctuary policies, not just in big cities, but across the entire state. Those are the same sanctuary policies that prevented coordination between local authorities in Chicago and federal immigration authorities that ultimately, in this case, led to this senseless and horrific tragedy. And so obviously the family is going through this process, but they deserve to know that the system is going to be improved. And honestly, every parent in America deserves that this system is going to be improved, because no parent should have to live through the nightmare that the Gormans are living through.
No parents have to bury their kid at all.
It is a preventable death. And right now, as I said before, as a community, we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support this amazing family and to honor this beautiful, beautiful woman. But we also need to make sure we have answers.
Yeah. I want to get to one more statement from Chicago Alderwoman Maria Haddon, who responded to the murder of Sheridan, saying this. Watch.
The kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally.
Wrong place, wrong time, running into a person with a gun.
So out here in Rockford, I didn't vote yet in Rockford.
It's almost as if she's blaming
Not yet.
for her death.
I voted for Trump while I was in Rockford.
To that, was Sheridan the one who was in the wrong place at the wrong time?
I mean, I find her comments just patently insulting. But in all reality, if we can't feel safe in America, are we free? That's the fundamental question that we have to ask ourselves right now. And whether it was this person wants to believe, this alderman wants to say that it's wrong place, wrong time, it doesn't matter. As a parent, we should feel safe letting our kids go away to college. We should feel safe letting our kids go out to explore without the fear of having a tragedy like this happen. Those comments made by the alderman, I just find are patently ridiculous. We deserve a safe country. We deserve safe communities. And as we've seen in this horrible tragedy, because of the failed systems and policies that have been in place, because of the open borders, because of the sanctuary policies that are in place in places like Chicago and New York, these unfortunate situations are resulting in these horrific tragedies. It's not wrong place, wrong time. It's wrong policies and bad decisions.
Yeah, I would say that the illegal immigrant was the one that was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that wrong place is in this country with a prior criminal record. Assemblyman Matt Slater, we thank you so much for your time, and we are so sorry for the loss of this beautiful community member, and she will be gravely missed.
Oh, we got a bot.
Thank you.
More Fox and Friends First coming up.
I'm Steve Doocy. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling.
Apologies on that.
Mark Way, yeah. Here we go. Got it.
On this vote, the ayes are 54, the nays are 45. The nomination of Mark Wade Mullen of Oklahoma to be Secretary of Homeland Security is confirmed. Under the previous order, the motion to reconsider is considered made laid upon the table. The president will be immediately notified of the Senate's action.
Want to really see something that said, take a look what happened together.
For 7 days a week, having fun, spreading love, man. And we got an update that just took place.
So they all terrible, yeah.
Kristi Noem's replacement, Mark Wayne Mullen, has been confirmed by the Senate just almost 2 hours ago. And it's official. The U.S. Senate has confirmed Senator Mark Wayne Mullen as Trump's new Secretary of Homeland Security in a 54-45 vote. Senator Rand Paul, which is no surprise, as we seen that clash, and we see how it played out during the confirmation hearings a couple days ago. But Senator Rand Paul was the only Republican who voted nay on Mullen. And it says Rand Paul is one of the biggest disappointments other than Thomas Massey. Democrat John Featherman voted yes. He voted yeah to confirm Mullen. Oh boy, you just can't make this up.
On this vote, the ayes are 54, the nays are 45. The nomination of Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma to be Secretary of Homeland Security is confirmed.
Yeah, he a rhino, man. I thought he was doing a good job. He was grilling Anthony Fauci, the Ouchie. I was like, okay, Ron Paul doing a good job. Ron Paul doing a good job grilling Dr. Fauci, but I don't know what the hell happened after all that. He straight fell off after the COVID shit.
Under the previous order, the motion to reconsider is considered made laid upon the table. The president will be immediately notified of the Senate's action.
Oh, Mark Wayne. Every time I think of Mark Wayne, I think of that moment where he tells, what's his name, to stand your butt up. Stand your butt up.
Yeah, Fetterman. I like Fetterman.
Real quick.
Mr. O'Brien himself, his behavior, as everybody knows, and it's here in the last time, him and I kind of had a back and forth. Appreciate your demeanor today. It's quite different. But after you left here, you got pretty excited about the keyboard. In fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself. And my wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made.
This is okay,
What
Rick.
Clown. Fraud. Always has been. Always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
Yeah.
Stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on. No, stop it.
Oh, man.
No, sit down. Stop it. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down. Okay. Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond?
Hold it. Stop it. Oligarchy.
Oh, Bernie.
Stop it.
Is that Bernie Sanders?
Oligarchy. If we can't, no, I have the mic. I'm sorry.
This is what he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough contempt for Congress. Let's not.
I don't like thugs and bullies.
And that's
I don't like you.
Hold it.
And what's funny about this, well, you know, how this all played out. And this moment actually brought these guys closer. And now they're like best friends. And he actually
Thank you, guys. Thank
was
you.
behind him and rooting for him at his confirmation hearing. And as you didn't know, this is a Teamsters president. Teamsters. And in the hearing, you know, Mark Wayne Mullen tells Rand Paul, you know, enough with the nonsense about when he mentioned, you know, the fight. He says, behind me is the exact same guy. And we're now best friends. We're now good buddies from the fight, the clash that we had. And now the Teamsters president went on to, you know, Fox News just to kind of, you know, confirm things as well. But check out what he said.
We're great friends. That wasn't our finest moments. I think we all agree that we can always act better, act accordingly.
And as you can see, Mark Wayne's right here doing his confirmation hearing when we covered it. And some people didn't see this, some people caught on, but he's literally sitting right next to him. He's on his left shoulder if you're looking in, and then if you was to look on, if he was there, he'll be on his right shoulder, on his right side, but on his left shoulder of the picture frame, he's right there.
But the reality is, I'm glad that happened that way. It happened twice. And then the president encouraged both of us to get together. He thought we had a lot in common. Our chiefs of staff met. We met. We realized we have more in common than we don't. And what we agreed to disagree on is never going to hinder our ability to represent my members and or his constituents. And we're going to work to solve problems. And he's been a great friend. I talk to him all the time. He's going to be a great Secretary of Homeland Security.
Wow. It's crazy to see how this all played out, man, But here's Trump on what he just said earlier today. If Mark Wayne Mullen is confirmed.
Changes would you like to see in DHS under Mark Wayne Mullen? Well, he's going to be fantastic. He'll make his own change. He's already given me a list of people he wants to bring.
47.
He's a fantastic guy. I think he's just the right guy. You all know him. He's a very open, smart guy, very successful actually in business, which people don't know, and he's a friend of mine. I think Mark Wayne is going to be fantastic.
Today's show, I want to end it off with this clip right here. Or maybe there's somebody that hasn't seen it, but this is one of my favorite moments from the Mark Wayne Mullen confirmation hearing, in which we covered this, and as y'all know, it put me in tears, man. I was boo-hoo crying, reacting to this live last week. As Mark Wayne Mullen shared a story about his son and President Trump. And, the media, the mainstream media, they do not want you to see this. They do not want you to hear this, But God bless this man, his family. Glad that he got confirmed. He's a true patriot. And just a huge reminder, man, that nothing is promised to any of us, man. Do not take this time for granted. Love on your loved ones. Check on your people. Be there. Be involved. Be an awesome human being, a great human being. It doesn't take much, man. Love and care for one another. The little things, man. But they do not want you to know the good side, the real side of our president. And this story here really, really hit home for me, especially after losing my father, because my father was like my day one supporter, We did everything together. That was my twin, man. Rest in peace to Rick Sr. But huge shout out to Mark Wayne Mullen for sharing this story with everybody. Check this out as we end today's show off. I wanted to tell you guys that I love you. God bless you all and your family. And I'll catch y'all on the next one, man.
It's not about President Trump, it's about my son. So my son was a really world-class athlete, and January 17th of 2020, which mind you was an election year, he had a really serious brain injury. Woke up 26 hours later and he's a different kid. We almost lost him. For 26 hours, he had an extremely low pulse. There was a time they thought that they lost his pulse altogether. And when he woke up, he was just different. I mean, here he had a world-class athlete that wrestled all over the world since he was 12 years old, and he couldn't touch his nose. He couldn't walk without shuffling his feet. He had short-term memory loss. He couldn't control his muscles. Couldn't add 5+3. He was in high school at that time. Had to learn how to read, walk, everything. The president found out about it, and he gave me a call immediately. And one thing that the president joked about was, like, he said, let me get this straight. He doesn't know who you and Christy are, but he knew who I was, because the only question you got right is who the president was. And he said Trump, with his cocky grin on his face. And but the president didn't understand the severity of it, but he heard it in my voice, and immediately he went to work. I told him we had to get to Bakersfield, California, to the Center for Neural Skills, which is one of the best neural rehabilitation places in the world. And the president offered us in his plane, his personal plane. This is the president of the United States. And I said, sir, we can't fly. We got to drive. We get there, and he called almost every day for 2 weeks checking on Jim. And then he said, I'm going to come see him. And now this is the middle of the election. This is Bakersfield, California. Really not an area he's got to go campaign. He took the time to come up there and see Jim. And the center told us that the short-term memory loss something would trigger it. Some big event would eventually trigger where he would start retaining stuff. Until then, he was still having issues. And the president arrived, and of course there was cameras and everybody around. And of course, none of the media ever talked about it, which was funny because the president called him on stage and talked to him. And then we went to the back, and the president didn't talk to me. He didn't know I was in. I mean, he didn't care if I was in the room. Here's a guy that's been over, and his tie is about as long as my son because my son's it stunted his growth, and so he's 5'3" the rest of his life. And his team came to him twice and said, "Sir, we got to go. We got to go." On the third time they came over to him, he looked at him and he says, "Hey, I guarantee you that plane won't leave without me." And for the next 15 minutes, he did nothing but love on my son. That one incident jogged his memory. And from then on, he started retaining things. And Jim's attitude went from this, we're going to get through it, to this, I'm going to get through it. And every week, if not most days, the president would call and ask how he could help. Ask how's his buddy doing? How's Jim doing? He didn't do it for publicity. He didn't do it for any show. He was running in one of the toughest elections he had been in, and the guy was still that concerned about my son. When we got released for a little bit, we had to go back. When we got released a little bit, the president said, "Come to Mar-a-Lago and see me." We go down there, and it's amazing. And when we're leaving, dang it, I hate getting emotional. See, if I talk about my kids, I get emotional. Other than that, you can't make me cry. But my kids can make me emotional.
That's actually good.
Yeah. So anyways, he grabbed my son and he said, "Do you know why I love your dad? Do you know why I love your dad?" Chrissy tells the story better than I do. And he goes, "No, sir." He goes, "Because he loves you. Because of you. Because of you." Man, he didn't do it for any other reason. I mean, here's the president of the United States, and he did it just because he cared. And so when you want to say why he's a friend, yeah, we were acquaintances before that. We've been friends ever since.
The American people need to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Blumenthal.
Yep. Thank you guys for that one. Yep.
Now, this morning, you know who dispatched ICE agents to fill in for absent TSA employees.
Those discussions are going on now. I'm not an expert at TSA, so that's why I'm talking to the TSA administrator and the ICE director, find out where we can fit in.
Do they have any, practical, experience in manning airport security lines?
Sure. Well, they run those same type of security machines at the southern border, right? Packages come through or people come through. They run similar assets.
The last thing that the American people need are for untrained ICE agents to be deployed at airports all across the country, potentially to brutalize or in some instances kill them.
I don't actually hate the idea of this right now. ICE has gotten billions of dollars.
I'm glad ICE agents are at the airports. They're federal agents. So therefore, if you are criminal and also if you hear illegal, that's right back on that plane, right back to the country you came from. That's a good idea, Trump. I'm glad he did that.
They've almost doubled their
I'm glad
budget.
he did that.
We're talking about TSA workers who aren't getting paid, and the ones that are making it there are having to pay for gas prices and riding buses. And so if you want to fill in bodies here, because their success rate at finding criminals has been 5%. These are 100% guaranteed travelers coming through there. So I just feel like putting more people on the job, I don't see that as a bad thing.
You mean you want to feel safe when you take your kids to the airport?
Yeah.
It's crazy. We are spending billions of dollars on a war right now, what's going on in Iran. And we can't even feel safe in our airports. And Congress is still getting paid.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part of this whole thing. You have people that are not getting paychecks, as Whoopi was saying, that are actually on the job. And the people that can't come together to fix the government are getting paid.
The second time in a year.
So
Because the Democrat Party can't get their way, they want to shut shit down like babies. That's sick. I thought the Democrat Party's for the working class people. What happened? Because they never was.
You got to talk about an interesting phenomenon that is happening at airports after ICE agents show up, right? For whatever reason, when ICE agents show up, magically, the lines get shorter, right? People disperse. They stop coming to the airport, at least at some airports. That's what we're saying. And I think that maybe, just maybe, there's some explanations for this. Maybe, one, ICE agents are actually useful, right? In the sense that they're there.
Everybody talking about this Epstein file. What was y'all passion when Biden had it? When Obama had it? What was y'all passion for it then? Y'all get on these chats about Epstein. What was y'all passion for that then? It's trash. The man is innocent. Don't try to kill a man twice, then put him in jail. All of a sudden now, twice elected. Oh, throw the Epstein files out. That shit's stupid. Anybody talk about the Epstein files? It's stupid.
They're helping. There is something they can do in order to help out.
Go do your own research. Don't come on the chat talking about the Epstein file. How you come on somebody's chat talking about the Epstein files? Get your phone and go Google it your fucking self. Don't come on the chat talking about it. We talking about the TSA not getting paid. Focus on that.
They're from the mainstream level media and
Pray for the
Democrats
victims.
They're only going to be there to cause trouble. You know, yada
Fuck
yada
them
yada.
files.
Right? They tried to demonize.
They ain't doing shit for nobody. The causing division. Fuck them files. Let's stay focused, people.
But maybe, just maybe, ICE is actually useful, right? Having more manpower can help make things more efficient, okay? Because that is what we are observing in these airports. And also on top of that, again, less people seem to be showing up, which also is very interesting. So without further ado, let's roll these clips of people documenting their experience with ICE agents at the airport. Take a look.
And the wait line looks like this. In the couple of hours that I've been here, I've seen ICE officers patrolling, and the line has looked the same since I got here. Completely empty. So if you see wait times go down while you're traveling, you may just want to thank an ICE officer. Earlier this morning, travelers may have experienced a little bit of a wait time, but since I've been here, the lines seem to be moving fairly smooth.
So President Trump sends ICE agents to the airports across the country. And while the rest of our country has 3+ hour waits, thanks Democrats, Minneapolis Airport's TSA wait time right now is less than 5 minutes. Called it.
As long as they don't bother anybody, I'm okay. I was concerned about people. So they're not bothering us. Let's get it done.
I like that they're here. I think that it's allowing us to move and get to where we need to go.
It's kind of scary in a sense because you don't know what to expect with ICE.
As long as they can help us move a little bit faster, maybe they can take some of the work off the TSA agents as far as, general security. I'm all for it.
This comes after days of people waiting up to 5 hours in security lines wrapped around baggage claim, even starting outside. Travelers are frustrated, anxious. Many are missing flights. And overall, they want to know when Congress will finally come to an agreement to end all of this. And so far, more than 400 TSA workers have quit since the start of this partial shutdown, according to DHS. And
tell us what the status is where you are. And I know you've been seeing ICE agents there. What have you been seeing them doing?
Yep. Finally, we can take a deep breath here. The numbers have dropped off. The lines are getting shorter. I think the average wait time now is under 40 minutes. So if you have a flight to catch today, it's a good time to come to Hartsfield-Jackson International. Talking about the ICE agents, you can see a few behind me right there. And then I'm going to walk you this direction, and you can see some more of them gathered over here. This is what they've been doing for the most part today, is doing the patrols around the airport, talking and gathering, not really helping the public in the sense of they're not taking tickets from anybody. They're not interacting with the public we've seen so far. They're not checking anyone's ID. At the TSA checkpoints, they're not doing that as well. So the big question is, what have they been doing mostly? Well, it's been providing perimeter security, as you can see over here. If we come back this direction, there's also a contingent of officers over here. And the reason why is what we're being told is there's a protest scheduled against ICE here at the airport in the next 2 hours or so. So now you have extra police officers from the Atlanta Police Department ready to respond to what may happen when protesters arrive. And we've been told they actually applied for a permit. So now you're bringing all these people, surging them into one area. This is where the lines have been long throughout the day. The lines now are gone. So that's a good news. Whether it's the north, the south terminals, or even the main checkpoint, we've been told that the lines now, again, are under 30 minutes, which is fantastic. That's after Sunday, when it was more than 5 hours and we saw lines stretch outside the building. When we arrived here at 6 a.m. this morning, there were thousands of people trying to get to the airport. We talked to several people who we just checked through to try to see how long it would take them. Average wait time was over 2 hours. And right now, the airport GM is actually telling us they believe the numbers are about a 30% call out. And now we've talked to TSA steward who tells us, look, they believe things could get better, but they want to get paid sometime soon.
Is this going to be the new norm? You know, is every weekend, going to be a 5-6 hour wait at the checkpoints to get on your flight, if you can even make it? What's evident with your eyes, you're seeing is this is a breakdown in the TSA system. That's what you're seeing. When Friday comes and there's no paycheck, what are we going to see next weekend?
Yeah, guys, we'll continue to watch this. Right now, again, the numbers seem pretty good. We'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the day.
Joining me now.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. CNN is stunned, shocked that ICE showed up, and according to CNN, they didn't do anything, and the lines magically got shorter. Now, what is actually happening here? One, I'm just saying, maybe, just maybe, ICE being at the airports is disincentivizing illegals from flying. Right? I know it sounds far-fetched, but I'm just saying that, maybe that's explaining the phenomenon. But it's actually more likely that there are TSA agents that do jobs that anybody can do. Let's be real, okay? And those jobs, are being replaced by some ICE agents, okay? Whether it be standing on a perimeter, doing some type of, visual security or monitoring or whatever, right?
It's not that hard.
And then that's freeing up those TSA agents to go and help out with the luggage check, okay? Which would be more specialized. So that's what's going on here, right? What is happening is that you have TSA agents who no longer are being asked to do what anybody can do, and then they're doing more specialized tasks while ICE takes over the tasks that are not as specialized. Common sense stuff, right? More manpower is always going to be good, right? We talk about dealing with stuff like this. And if this shutdown continues to persist, it's not going to be hard or take that much time to train up these ICE agents. The liberal media is making a big deal. Oh, they don't know how to operate the machines and to do the x-rays and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, has anybody ever interacted with a TSA agent? I'll mean no harm. And I'm just saying that it's a respectful job. But, let's be real. Let's be real, okay? Anybody who has interacted with a lot of TSA agents know, okay, that job is not particularly a job that, you need a very specialized skill set, right? Again, I'm not trying to put it down. It's an important job, right? I respect what they do, but ICE agents can be trained to do that, right? They can train them up very quickly to do that job, right? To be honest, it doesn't seem that hard. It doesn't seem that difficult, especially when you talk about the TSA agents that are just directing traffic, right? Those ones that are directing traffic is like, okay, like anybody can do that, right? Anybody can do that. Let's be real. So I think the good thing about this is that from a optics standpoint, it actually is going to give the public, millions of travelers really, an opportunity to interact with ICE in real life, right? Outside of what they see on TV. Because let's be real, public opinion on ICE is being shaped by the mainstream liberal media. In the narrative that they're putting out here, that ICE is evil and Gestapo, right? They're out here racially profiling, hunting down black and brown people, Latinos. Yeah, that is where a lot of people get their perception of ICE. Okay, we're talking about normies who don't actually watch Black conservative perspective. So, when that is your interaction with ICE, right, is always negative. Going to an airport and having a positive interaction with ICE, if ICE is actually successful at helping to relieve the long wait times, that is a net positive. And that is the political genius of all of this. If ICE goes in there and they're actually helpful and there are positive interactions between ICE and the public is able to see these ICE agents as human beings, right? Regular, everyday, normal Americans who are just doing their jobs, right, and enforcing the law.
Right.
I think that will help
It's a
when
big
it comes
help.
to public perception of ICE. Because right now, again, Democrats have waged war against ICE. Okay, the far left base wants them to abolish ICE altogether. ICE going in here and actually helping to relieve some of these long wait times will do a lot to push back against that narrative, to make that narrative more toxic for Democrats, right? Do people understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that if ICE has positive interactions with these millions of people, if they actually help solve a real problem, a real pain point for millions of people, that will be a great positive interaction.
Matt been around before all you guys. Matt been cool.
Sway public opinion back in favor of ICE, which would make Democrats embracing the far left's toxic abolish ICE mandate politically untenable, right? Just like defund the police, okay? We know what happened when Democrats got on board with defund the police. It ultimately ended up hurting them in the long run. Same thing can happen when it comes to ICE and
Here we go. Here we go, chat. Somebody called me a bootlickers. Here we go. What is a woman, JB? What is a woman? Those definitely talking points from a slave master, the Democrats, the Dixiecrats. Look at them, bootlicking. Get off the plantation, JB. Get off the plantation.
Because we know they're going to swing back far left on this issue. I mean, they are far left on the issue. I think that the political genius of all this is that this helped boost positive public perception of ICE. So without further ado, let's get into ABC News. Tell us more about what ICE is doing to help relieve TSA.
Elizabeth Newman, ABC News contributor and former Assistant Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, has more on this. Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for joining us. So what can ICE agents do at an airport to help with wait times?
Well, they can offload some of those passenger coordination, the lines, possibly with a little bit of training could do some of those ID checks. But as Alex alluded to, they're not trained to be able to do the physical screening of bags, of people going through the different types of x-ray machines. So really what you're trying to do is free up what labor you do have of TSA to put them away from the lines, put them on the screening stations so that hopefully you can screen faster. This is a temporary solution. It doesn't actually really solve the problem. What we need is for the government to pass a spending bill so that TSA.
Hey, JB, how about you get to know everybody in the chat before you start calling people names, chat?
Weeks without a paycheck before we start losing a lot more TSA.
Get to know the chat before you start making names, JB.
A lot more backlogs at a whole host of airports across the country.
Yeah. So I think that is true, but at the same time,
right, Matt is not a racist. Matt been with this chat for a while. He's not racist.
Come to show. I don't think it's that hard, right, to train up ICE to do TSA's job, right? I really don't think it's that hard. Even when you talk about the machines, okay, the x-ray machines or whatever, right? Like, I can already tell you, just look at it.
No problem. I'm right here with you guys.
Require you to take your laptop out and which ones, don't, right? I'm just saying, like, maybe it's
thank you
than that to operate, but I'm just saying, like, getting the basics down in regards to what type of machine is capable of doing what when it comes to x-raying certain, pieces of luggage, right? Whether or not you have to remove electronics or not. Like, I can already tell you that, right? Just looking at machines. Okay, I always try to get in the line for the machine where I don't have to take out my laptop, okay, or my electronics, because I carry a lot of electronics, right? Backup equipment, all types of stuff in my bag when I go to the airport, when I travel. And it's always a pain, right? But I've learned to recognize the machine. So my point is that, basic jobs, like, hey, you need to know what this machine does.
Okay, that's what's up, right? Mark. Yep. I'm playing Greg sometimes.
Have out and to separate for each machine, and then you direct people on, that stuff. Yeah, that's easy, right? Like, that's not hard, okay? That's not super complicated to train an ICE agent to do, right? So I think as long as you have the management showing up, the supervisors showing up, let's be real, the workers on the ground, a lot of them, for the most part, they can be replaced. They can be replaced pretty easily, which puts a lot more pressure on Democrats because these workers who are going to end up quitting because they can be replaced by ICE agents. So that means that, hey, we don't need you to show up to work. And, ultimately, hey, we can just drag this out. Okay, Democrat shutdown. Democrats going to take the blame for that, right? These people ultimately losing their jobs. But now that I think about it, it's like maybe this is more efficient for ICE to also be responsible for airport security, right? Think about it. Doesn't it kind of make sense for ICE to be doing TSA's job anyways, right? When you talk about checking ID,
they're federal agents. Why not?
Talking about stopping, illegals or people who are not supposed to be in this country from flying, right? Would it make sense to have ICE agents kind of do that ID check, right? To be doing that in the first place? So if somebody
say what a woman is, it's your mama, your grandma, your sister, your auntie, your female cousin,
sense, right?
XX
a
chromosome.
For immigration enforcement.
I was referring to you. What's your name?
TSA and ICE should merge, right? Or ICE should take over TSA. Just saying. To me, that kind of sounds like a good idea, right? It keeps illegals from flying. That's an easy way to keep illegals from flying. Okay? Have a little database for people who are possibly overstaying their visas, right? That's actually a great idea. When you talk about overstaying visas,
how did you get here?
The main way
wrong.
people actually illegally immigrate to this country is that they fly in on tourist visas and then they just stay, right? Having ICE screen at airports, right, would essentially allow us to cut down on the amount of people who are coming into the country, staying illegally, overstaying their visas because they wouldn't be able to fly, right? They wouldn't be able to fly. That's a great deterrent. To be honest,
I'm glad you appreciate it. Everybody is welcome.
Can of worms here, but my point is that the more of these TSA agents that quit, okay,
everybody is welcome. Like I said, I'm a Trump supporter. If you're not, it's cool.
The more that people are gonna blame Democrats.
I'm not here to push nobody to be a Trump supporter.
Why this is happening? I mean, seriously, Democrats are overplaying their hand, right? Forcing multiple shutdowns and then pointing the finger at Republicans, right? Yeah, it's like if you do it one time, I guess it's plausible deniability.
The name is Deunta. To the people's new to the chat, name is Deunta.
Okay, Democrats in the same position. They're the ones who are refusing to open back up the government while trying to blame Republicans who are all voting to open back up the government and say, well, Republicans and Trump are causing the government to shut down because we got to fight for these illegals, right? But somehow that's Trump's fault that Democrats are fighting on behalf of illegals and holding the country hostage for illegal immigrants. Yeah, I just think that when you are the denominator for multiple shutdowns, eventually people, even people who aren't very smart, right, or informed about politics, they're eventually going to pick up on the pattern that Democrats are the reason why this continues to happen, right? They're the source of the chaos.
ICE is funded and its agents are getting paid. You say you're not opposed to solutions like this to help the TSA. What challenges do you think they'll face?
Yes, it is common in the Department of Homeland Security for us to cross-deputize across our agency. We usually see it during a natural disaster or some sort of emergency response where you take a workforce and ask them to do usually administrative tasks to free up the whoever is in need that has the operational expertise to be forward.
Yeah, because I'm sick and tired of hearing this shit. Bootlicker. Tired of hearing that.
However,
especially from a black man.
Time where it's been done specifically at a TSA.
Or anybody that's black. Stop
it. So I do have questions. I would love to see the government answer, including.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you.
TSA is not a law enforcement agency. They are a screening agency. They do not carry guns. Are we going to see ICE officers carrying their firearms? Usually when they are working in all manners, they like to carry their firearms. I think we would be a little
JB, there's no proof of him being a pedophile, so stop it, man. If he's a pedophile, send his ass to jail.
I mean, seriously, bro.
They done tried it already. Try to bankrupt him, try to assassinate the man.
In other countries.
So come on, man. Stop
for
it.
example, second world countries, right? Latin America, for example. Okay, it is very common to see security with rifles, shotguns, right, at the airport, in places like this. Like, I mean,
if there was a proof that he'd be in jail right now, come on, man.
To see police walk around the airport with guns. Why is it that all of a sudden now it's abnormal for ICE to be walking around with guns at the airport, right? When we already have security that walks around with guns, right? We have police that do that. What's wrong with having more police? But as this woman,
What's up with Hunter Biden's laptop? What about that laptop? Hunter Biden's laptop.
She calls TSA screening agency. I think that TSA should become a law enforcement agency, to be honest with you. It just kind of makes sense, right? It kind of makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. Maybe that needs to change.
I'd like to understand better what the plan is for ICE and other parts of the airport. There are other security functions they might be able to help with, but it just would be useful for the government to be.
They try to put Trump in jail for elections.
Also, would like to.
They come to find out the election fraud is all on them, all the Democrats.
To an airport that they've gone through some real minimum level training to remind them.
Dead people voted.
They're operating under TSA authorities.
All Democrats.
Those authorities are not law enforcement
So
authorities.
again, they try to get the man through voter fraud. Kind of find out it's the Democrats with the voter fraud. So Trump cool.
In that context, they literally what TSA can do.
AKA, don't arrest illegals, right? If you catch
Hey Clark,
at the airport,
thank you for being in the channel. I got this.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Is deny somebody entry into an airport or deny certain goods coming into the airport. That's it. So you do need to equip the workforce with that knowledge so that they're not accidentally applying their law enforcement authorities in a screening context.
Elon Musk also now says he wants to pay TSA officers' salaries while this shutdown rolls on. President Trump told reporters this morning he'd like to see that. Can that happen?
I'm not aware legally that this is doable. In past shutdowns, there have been groups like corporations and wealthy people who have offered to try to use their own money. And usually the lawyers will tell you that's just not allowed, that we're not allowed to use private dollars to fund government functions. It has to go through Congress. It's a constitutional matter. The government has to be appropriated by Congress, so you can't shortcut it using private donors.
Well, I don't know about that, right? Like, what's stopping the TSA agent?
Brian, there's more to the context what you're talking about. Way more than what you're saying. He said more than that.
You know, I'm a TSA agent, right? And that's it. GoFundMe and Elon can, contribute to their accounts. I mean, let's be real. What they got to lose at this point, right? What they got to lose? They're not getting paid, right? So if Elon drops them, I don't know, $10,000 for their troubles, they can just take it and say, you know what? Screw it, right? Whatever happens, happens. I mean, they're not getting paid. Seriously. It's messed up. So let Elon help, right? I would love for Elon to step up and to pay them. And I'm just saying because he volunteered to do it, right? I mean, this is his idea. So if you want to do it, then that'd be great. But regardless, I think that this is a checkmate move here from President Trump. I think deploying ICE to the airports to potentially take over for these TSA workers, I think that's a genius idea. ICE has a whole lot of resources. I think that from an optics perspective, it also helps the public when it comes to their perception of ICE. Having them interact with millions of travelers every single day is politically genius. It is, because it's an easy way for ICE to actually get in-person positive experience with regular, everyday, normal people, right? Think about it. What I would do if I was the Trump administration, seriously, I would seriously be like, you know what? Why don't we turn TSA into a law enforcement agency where we could easily screen for illegals, right, who try to travel? You kill two birds with one stone. You have ICE take over the jobs of the TSA agents that quit, train them up in customer service, get some of them thick, right, thick Latinas, them thick women that ICE tends to hire, right? Get them out there on the front lines. They better be nice. They better be nice and sweet. Get them out there on the front lines, train them up on customer service, make the experience pleasant. And that's your PR arm right there, right? That's your public relations arm of ICE right there. That's how you fix ICE's perception with the public. Seriously. The idea is so good that it's not going to happen. But I think it just makes too much sense. ICE is right there screening for illegals, right? They try to fly. And then if you have them interacting with the public, millions of travelers every single day, again, the public is getting real life interactions with ICE. It's like, oh, well, the ICE agents I know at the airport, they're very nice, right? They're normal, regular people. I don't want.
All right, you guys, it's about the Cuba situation. Let's talk about it.
These Democrats are a total joke. So they had a bill on the floor to fund TSA and DHS, and all of the Democrats said no. But what do? They run straight to social media and say, oh, look, everybody, look what the Republicans did. The Republicans refused to fund TSA. They refused to fund DHS. This is what the Democrats saying, but the Democrats are the ones that said no to the funding. The Republicans said yes. People have been at airports for hours and hours, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They're telling people to get there 4 and 5, even 6 hours early to the airport, so that way you don't miss your flight. TSA is not operating at full capacity. DHS is not operating at full capacity. And with everything that's going on around the world right now and inside of the United States of America, have you not seen the news? Have you not seen it? The Democrats want the United States of America not to be protected. The Democrats have done this to our country time and time again. They're holding the country hostage. And basically what they're saying, if you want safety and security in the United States of America, you have to get rid of law enforcement, because it all comes down to them wanting to get rid of ICE because they don't want ICE showing up to voting booths. Why wouldn't they want ICE showing up to a voting booth? Help me out. Help me understand that one. The
Possible to have lost Georgia. It's not possible. When I heard it was close, I said there's no way. It's just not possible to have lost Georgia. It's not possible. When I heard it was close, I said there's no way. But they dropped a lot of votes in there late at night. You know that, Brett. And that's what we are working on very, very stringently. But regardless of those votes, with all of it being said, we lost by essentially 11,000 votes. And we have many more votes already calculated and certified too. So I just don't know, Mark, I don't know what's the purpose. I won't give Dominion a pass because we found too many bad things, but we don't need Dominion or anything else. We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad. Having a correct, the people of Georgia are angry, and these numbers are going to be repeated on Monday night.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. Blessings to everybody. Thank you.
The people of Georgia are angry. The people of the country are angry, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. That you've recalculated, because the 2,236 and absentee ballots. I mean, they're all exact numbers that were done by accounting firms, law firms, etc. And even if you cut them in half, and cut them in half again, it's more.
But that's what I was trying to show you. You saying Trump's almost 11,000 ballots he needed. He said way more than that.
They are the enemy within.
It's funny how Democrats complaining about ICE agents helping out with TSA, but they won't fund TSA. They won't fund DHS. And don't give me this is the Republicans have the branch of the government, all this crap. Because what happens when these happen is many of you guys need to go back to school and take civics and take social studies and take history so that you actually understand how our government works. Yes, the Republicans have the House and the Senate, but they do not have full control because there is a filibuster rule in place, which means that in order for a bill to pass, there needs to be 60 votes. The Republicans have voted.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
To fund DHS. Democrats do not want to fund DHS because they want open borders. They want to abolish ICE, which is extremely unpopular with the American people. That every poll has shown that yes, some Americans, maybe a nice percentage of them, want some reforms with ICE, but a very minority only wants to abolish ICE. Most Americans believe in some type of immigration enforcement with ICE and believe that we should be deporting criminals, and 60% believe we should be deporting all illegal immigrants. So this notion that abolishing ICE is popular is not true. It's popular with the radical left of their party, the far left fringes of their party who hold up abolish ICE signs. So this is what the funding battle is over. This is why. So if the Democrats want ICE to leave the airports, then all they have to do is vote to fund ICE. Stop playing with these people that are missing their paychecks, that are missing their money because DHS is playing, because the Democrats are playing games, because they want to, and this is what people need to understand. This fight, that's happening with DHS is over open borders. This fight is over illegal immigration. The Democrats are willing to shut the nation down. They're willing to completely destroy America in order for illegal immigrants, whether you believe in illegal immigration or not.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today.
Tax, thank you for the gift, Tax. Thank you for the gift. Appreciate that. I got super chat. I don't ask you guys for it, but if you guys give it to me, I really appreciate it. I'm just here to share information with you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
At some point, man, we got to stop pretending that this is normal. 2 DHS shutdowns in a single year. 2 Democratic-led shutdowns in a single year. That's not governance. That's dysfunction. And here's what they're not telling you. Poor enforcement like ICE doesn't just disappear during a shutdown. It's already been funded through prior legislation. So what are we really doing here? This isn't about keeping the lights on. It's about political leverage. Meanwhile, the parts that actually protect everyday Americans, disaster response, cybersecurity, those are the ones being squeezed. See, this is where people are starting to wake up, because when politicians start playing games with stability and the media refuses to explain it straight, trust starts to collapse. The American people are not stupid. We're not dumb. They can see the chaos. They can feel it. And at some point, more folks are going to say what needs to be said, which is enough is enough. Because God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. But Democrats are playing in everybody's faces because they are grasping at straws. This is all they have. They literally allowed the border to be wide open for 4 years. We had a president that ran on 1, closing the border, but 2, implementing the largest mass deportation ever committed in U.S. history. And he's doing everything that he can to make that happen. And you have Democrats fighting this tooth and nail, not because they care for America, it's because they care about themselves. They care about their new constituents, which is these illegal immigrants. And that's why they don't want to pass the Save America Act, because they want the mail-in ballots. They want these people to be able to sweep through the cracks. They want dead people to vote. These people are outrageous, but I'm glad that we have a plethora of Americans that are starting to wake up. We got a little bit to get into. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
They want to have murderers come into our country. They want to have open borders, and we're not letting it happen. That's what this is all about. They don't want voter ID. They don't want proof of citizenship. They don't want mail-in ballots. They're so corrupt. What they want, the only thing they want is mail-in ballots. So we also added, as you know, into the Save America Act. And it's called Save America. It's not the Save Act. But we added no transgender mutilization of our children and no men in women's sports.
Which are all things that the majority of Americans can get behind. It's just really funny that you have a group of politicians who are supposed to represent us as Americans, refusing to do the bidding and the will of the average American. It's really sickening, man. It's taxation without representation all over again at a much larger and grander scale.
Tell us why you're making the change from the Democrat ticket to President Trump. Mr. Trump stated, I'm going to build a wall because I want the people that live here to eat first. Since this new administration has come to the table, my children are lacking. My community is lacking. I see a band.
So, Chad, what he's saying is bullshit. This man right here, what he's saying is bullshit, Pretty. Come on, y'all. Is he paid? I don't think so.
In properties, folks laying on the street, and forgive me, why do we feed folk when we have folks who went overseas, hung, bled, and died in the service for this country, and they're laying on the streets? That's unacceptable. Absolutely. If you can house an immigrant, with all due respect, house my children first. These are the people that fought for us. They're laying on the street. They can't get medical assistance because you've given it to someone else. They closed down schools. They opened the schools to put migrants in. You could open a school and put my veterans in there. Amen. You could open a school and put my homeless children in there. But yet you refuse to feed those that state that they are here. They've been here. You've overlooked them.
Democrats have overlooked the American people. He's absolutely right. We have veterans. We have our own.
Well, you got sanctuary city for the immigrants. People don't even live here. Sanctuary city for people don't live here. But the people that live here, no money to open up the schools. No money for no room and board at all. But yet the legals come, everything for them. Cars, housing, money. Stop it. No, the Democrat Party is bogus.
People who are in dire need of assistance, and yet they moved illegal immigrants into some of the poorest communities in our country. And they decided that, hey, the people that have been here, the American citizens, y'all don't need this. We're about to give millions and billions of dollars to newbies. All in the name of hoping to get these people over the finish line of becoming citizens. And those are the new people that will be 100% loyal to the Democrat Party. It's a slap in the face to every American. And what's really sickening is that we have a media apparatus here that is not there to 100% inform the people. They're nothing more than a propaganda arm for the DNC. If they actually did their jobs the way they're supposed to do their jobs, they would be telling both sides of the story. They would be telling what they're hearing from the right, what they're hearing from the left. Hey, here are the facts. We don't get that, unfortunately. It's really sad.
President Trump, I'm just a peon. You don't even know I exist. But I hope that somebody will see this video and talk to you and let you know how a lot of Americans are feeling right now. Whether we're on the left or we're on the right or we're in the middle, we're all feeling some hardship right now. And some of us are swimming and some of us are sinking. When is it our time, sir? When is it our time? Just like you have done for all these other countries. Well, they need this and they need that, and we need to help them to turn their country around. Yeah, but what about ours? In the meantime, we have dirty politicians all over the place stealing billions and billions of dollars. And you know where those dollars came from, sir? Not from the rich. Not from the wealthy.
That's where she's wrong. The middle class and higher pays majority of the taxes. We talked about this the other day. Out in California, they have 40 million people. Only 17.5 million people actually pay taxes in the state of California. It's a welfare state. We can just go ahead and call it that at that point. And then you have 200 people who just happen to be billionaires in the state of California who's responsible for majority of the taxes that are being paid in the state. If anybody should be livid and upset, it's the wealthy people, the middle class and above. Most of the people in the country that are of the poor demographic, even if they do pay taxes, throughout the year, they typically get a lot of that money back via a refund, because most people don't, they don't put on their properly on their W-2s, properly when it comes to the deductibles and all this other kind of stuff, the dependents, that type of thing. So they overpay, which basically you're giving the government a free loan because the government doesn't give you interest, on the money that you overpay. They just give it back to you. And people think it's a good thing. Like, oh my gosh, I get a refund. No, they're just giving you your money back without any interest, I might add. But try being late on those taxes and see what happens. Not only are you going to owe what you owe, but you're going to pay interest on that too.
All that money that these politicians are stealing came from poor people's pockets. Taxes, my taxes, my neighbor's taxes. We freaking work our asses off 40 hours, if not more, a week, just for the government to take a big old chunk of it, be like, and then go take it and give it to the illegal people. And that these politicians are still in office. What is happening today, sir? What is happening right now? I understand a lot of things that you're doing. I do. I understand it.
I think she does. You think about, the situation down in Venezuela. You think about what's going on in Cuba. You think about the situation in Iran right now. It's about national security. It's about making sure that we maintain our place as the number one superpower in the world and not allowing China to get any type of foothold over here in the Western Hemisphere. We can't allow it to happen. So I know a lot of times people see like, oh man, the Venezuelan people are happy because they're getting their country back, not understanding that it really wasn't about them. It was about the best interest of us from a national security perspective. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the BRICS nations, but these people, and you had some actors here in this hemisphere that were working with China, working with Iran to build a coalition of countries that would build a currency or create a currency that would supersede the dollar. And when it comes to, purchasing oil and other major goods around the world, we cannot allow that to happen. We can't allow China to act like they're going to put bases, in Venezuela or, bases in Cuba. We can't allow that to happen. Not in the Western Hemisphere. We have to have full control of this side of the earth.
But I want to be able to understand it a little bit more as to why our country is starting to sink while you're helping Venezuela and you got to do this for Cuba because Cuba is just right. But guess what? We are just right now too. When is it our turn? I'm getting tired. You spoke on bunker cells, telling all of us that you're aware of the bunker cells and you have your eyes on them. Why do you have your eyes on them? Why didn't you take your people and go into those damn bunker cells, take the people out of them, and blow up the bunker cells so they can't have them? I mean, really, if it's that easy to just do it to Iran, how come we're not doing it to the bunker cells? Why are we just keeping our eyes on them? Yeah, we had our eyes on the bad people, and then look what happened in 9/11. I'm sorry, sir, but your eyes on them isn't really giving me a lot of security knowing that I'm safe. I know the bunker cells are not your fault. I'm not blaming you on that.
Max Ninja.
But I'm just asking.
Glad you're in the chat.
A regular question as an American.
Welcome to the chat.
Who is sinking? I worked my ass off for nothing, and we're getting tired of it. Dirty politicians, dirty illegal immigrants. I just got a $900 electric bill for 1 month. And no, last month's bill didn't cross paths. My electric bill was $895 for 1 month. Do you understand, sir, that I'm just a regular citizen? I'm not rich. I'm just a mediocre person working 40 hours plus a week to survive.
Most of us are in that same situation. Most of us are mediocre. We're doing what we need to do to survive. We talked about we had a video come out on Saturday in reference because the same thing's happening here in Maryland to where these crooked politicians in these liberal-led counties have basically signed bad deals with these companies, and people are receiving bills that are just astronomical when it comes to electricity right now. It is insane. Something needs to be done about that. The nation is going through a change. We are going through a new industrial revolution. A lot of jobs that used to exist are no longer going to exist anymore. It's already happening. The layoffs are happening. But there's going to be some new opportunities that will present itself. And there are new opportunities that are presenting itself. I think people need to really get out there, get a full understanding, as to what's happening. Do some research on what direction our nation is headed and what skill sets and careers are going to be in demand now and over the next 10 years, and go get trained.
When you say Cuba is next, will that look more like Iran or Venezuela?
Can't tell you that. I can tell you that they're talking to us. It's a failed nation. They have no money. They have no oil. They have no nothing.
So, as communist Cuba endures rolling blackouts and a lack of pretty much everything, their dictator has appeared at the negotiating table, likely out of fear, as the country's oppressed populace has now taken to the streets, ransacking the hallmarks of communism that represent the poverty they've known for half a century. Meanwhile, every time these
Happy
despots
Tuesday.
look out
Glad
their
you guys in the
windows,
chat.
they see
Thank you.
U.S. warships
Appreciate
surrounding
it.
their
Like
island.
and subscribe.
And experts say it's only a matter of days before they pack their bags and walk away.
Cuba is in the dark. The entire electrical grid collapsing today as the country struggles with an energy crisis, leaving millions on the island without power. It's been 3 months since a drop of oil has reached the country. Highways are empty because there's no gas. The government is blaming
Thank you, guys.
deteriorating conditions on the United States' fuel blockade on the island. President Trump has floated what he calls a friendly takeover of the island nation.
The bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble.
Cuba is open to having a fluid commercial relationship with U.S. companies and also with Cubans residing in the United States.
We are asking the administration not to engage to stabilize economically the regime.
The Cuban regime is trying to buy time, as they always do.
But I think Cuba's the end. You know, all my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah.
You gotta understand something. Cuba is not like America. And when you see a headline like this, people protesting in a communist country and going after government buildings, this is unprecedented. And while the mainstream news is busy blaming Trump for all of this, nobody wants to admit that communist Cuba has never been able to stand on its own 2 feet or provide for its own people. This island regime has always been propped up by America's enemies, Russia, Iran, and Venezuela, because their economic system, communism, does not work. Doesn't guarantee wealth, but it does generate and guarantee plenty of poverty and misery. And the only thing the dictators running this place have to export is their own corruption, which they traded to Venezuela in exchange for fuel, while allowing the Soviets and now the Russians to use their rock as a base from which to harass America, which up until recently made Cuba one of the linchpins in the regime's support system that kept all these dictatorships on their feet. But now with Venezuela and Iran's leaders on their way out, the writing is on the wall for this place, because without an external lifeline, the socialists running this prison island can't feed their own people or keep the lights on. But that brings us to the real reason. Even though things in Cuba now are a complete disaster, this island's best days are ahead of it, because the people that live here for the last 50 years, they have had zero say in how things work, as their country's been stolen from them. They're not allowed to own property or build businesses, and like all communist regimes, nobody is free to leave Cuba. They're all locked in. In fact, if the people here were free to leave, they would escape as soon as possible, which is why the communists always have to lock the door. But on the other end of these power blackouts and the societal collapse of this place is an argument that the United States should have just normalized relations with Cuba, saving its people from what they're going through right now, which, as you're about to see, is an argument that is not based on reality.
Suffice it to say that the embargo is tied to political change on the island. The embargo is codified. And but the bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution, it's not even a revolution, that thing they have, has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge, they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge.
He's 100% right. This country has never been able to stand on its own 2 feet, and the economic problems this place is having were only a matter of time. They've always needed external support from other regimes, fuel from Venezuela, aid from the Soviets. And as an island dedicated to communist ideas, not only do they have to import everything, but since their people can't produce anything under this economic system, things here were always going to be stuck in the past, so to speak. But now the big question is, what does the near future hold for Cuba, especially if there's some sort of Trump takeover?
I sat down exclusively with Deputy Prime Minister Oscar Perez Oliva Fraga, considered by many to be Cuba's economic czar. His plan to attract more foreign investors, including large companies from the United States.
Cuba está abierta a tener una relación comercial.
He says Cuba is open to having a fluid commercial relationship with U.S. companies, with Cubans residing in the United States and their descendants. This person tells me it would be a breath of fresh air. And while there are people in the United States who legally do business with Cuba, Washington's trade embargo restricts many companies from doing authorized business there.
So, the regime's survival plan is to be part of Cuba's future somehow. Is anyone surprised about that? But there's another problem here. If companies
Good morning,
want to come in
hero.
and do
Good morning,
business with
hero.
Cuba now, and the current status quo remains in place, what exactly does that do? The United States has tried this before, and this regime that oppresses its people and brings them an economic system that does nothing for their future is still around. And thankfully, Cuban Americans who live here are not dumb enough to think that this is a good idea. They know exactly what appeasement of this regime will do.
Will not work. Ramon Saul Sanchez, president of the Democracy Movement in Miami, did not hesitate to respond this Monday to the news coming from Havana that Cuba is open to having a fluid commercial relationship with U.S. companies and also with Cubans residing in the United States.
We are asking the administration
November the 10th.
not to engage to stabilize economically the regime by
Yeah,
having
don't do that.
business people from here go and do business with the regime in Cuba.
The Cuban regime is trying to buy time, as they always do.
That's their plan. Just like Iran, just like Maduro in Venezuela, this dictatorship wants to hang on as long as possible, so they're negotiating. They're offering unacceptable terms, and they're doing it to try
Yes.
to drag things out past the point where action might be taken to have them step down and leave power. That's the last thing any of these regime leaders want to do. No regime leader wants to give up their power. That's why regimes so far are 0-2 against Trump. But this is how it works. Let's do a little business together. Let's get the power back on. Let's secretly lock down our country from the inside and get rid of all of these rioters on the streets by appeasing them with a little electricity and a little water just so we can survive. And the United States has tried this. We were told in the past that, if we would just work with the Cubans, if we would just stop being so unreasonable, the world would be such a better place. Well, we tried that. And guess where we are today? Cuba's worse today than it was 10 years ago. It's way worse today than it was 100 years ago. This society is just moving backwards. That's the thing. Progressivism turns into socialism, which turns into communism. It all progresses in the wrong direction.
Over the weekend, Cubans took to the streets of Holguin, parading through the streets of the eastern village in darkness, accompanied by the sound of pots and pans. According to human rights organization Cuba Lex, it recorded 130 protests all over the island in March of 2026 alone.
Wow, this is crazy. And you got to understand something. Cuba gets an F when it comes to human rights. This is not the United States, where you've got these rioters that destroy government buildings and nothing seems to happen to them. No, if you do that in Cuba, they have a place for you, and it's not a very nice place. This is a despotic regime that has governed its people in a very harsh way. And when people are on the streets there, you got to understand things are at rock bottom, just like they are in places like Iran. These are people that are protesting, knowing that their activity against their own government could cost them dearly, but they're doing it anyways because they think this is the last chance there is to turn around a sinking ship. The Cuban government is at the weakest it's ever been. It doesn't have its regime support network. It's not getting fuel from Venezuela. It's not getting aid from the Soviets. It's not getting aid from the United States, for crying out loud, or appeasement from U.S. presidents who want to see regimes stick around for some reason. So we understand that the current regime there cannot be part of the future. That would be a bad idea. But what future is out there that does not involve the regime? How does a communist prison island transform itself into a place that's prosperous for its own people? And what does Cuba offer?
Is next. Is Cuba, whatever you do with the military there, it seems like something. Will that look more like Iran or Venezuela?
Can't tell you that. I can tell you that they're talking to us. It's a failed nation. They have no money, they have no oil, they have no nothing. They have nice land. They have nice landscape, It's a beautiful island.
Yes.
I think they have great people. I know so many people from Cuba that were treated terribly, and they're over here and they became rich. They're very entrepreneurial people, very smart. I know a lot from Florida, especially. So I think Cuba, in its own way, if tourism and everything else, it's a beautiful island, great weather. They're not in a hurricane zone, which is nice for a change.
So you've got this island, which has been run by dictators who want to oppress their own people and want to export corruption in exchange for the bare minimum. But the island has a lot of great things going for it. It's full of very smart people who have an entrepreneurial spirit and have succeeded wildly 90 miles north of Cuba in Miami, where they do not have communism, where they have capitalism. So this island is ready to go. It's got everything it needs. It's got great land. It would be a tourist destination. If you opened up Cuba for the benefit of the Cuban people, the world would flood into this place. The economy would turn around overnight because it's stuck in the past. 50 years ago, everything there stopped the moment they embraced communism and decided to head down the path of destruction. But it wouldn't take long at all. And the other thing is Venezuela's ready to sell oil again to Cuba. It's just not oil that is going to directly prop up and benefit the Maduro regime. The only problem is we've got the Cuban government standing in the way of all of this. They're a communist government. They want to stick around. They don't want to give up their power. They've even got their own little succession plan in place, potentially, and they think that by offering Americans and American businesses the opportunity to give them money, which they're just going to take in some manner, which is just going to prop up their regime, is some great compromise, some great idea. But the shocking thing about all of this is this island has so many good things going for it. They just all require peace. And they all require freedom in order to be used. You see, you can't have a tourist industry if people are prisoners. You can't have a wonderful island where people want to go and visit if the place is run so poorly that it can't survive without a trickle of oil here and a Soviet missile base on it over there. Nobody's going to want to visit that place.
Without political change, you're not going to have any economic change or improvement to the situation for the people of Cuba. This government has run the economy right into the ground, and it doesn't work. Communism, socialism doesn't work in Cuba, doesn't work anywhere else either.
It's
Let's
never
put up
worked.
a grid that shows a
Constitutional Republic,
It's the wrong
baby.
economic system. It's a system that only fails. It's a system that has never succeeded anywhere. And it's a system, notice this, there's never been a communist regime anywhere that has survived and endured the test of time for years and years and years, which was also a free society that allowed people to leave. Every single communist regime out there has had to lock the door. The Soviets locked the door. The Cubans locked the door. Every single one of these places has restrictions on where you can go because they know that people are going to flee that ship the second they get the chance to, because it just steals from people. It guarantees everybody equal levels of misery. And you know something? No amount of foreign investment is going to fix that. You can't invest in communism. How do you do that? Communism already forces everybody that lives in its country to invest in it by stealing all of their wealth, and that doesn't work. How is U.S. investment going to work? How is connecting the communist regime in Cuba to Americans going to do anything other than prop it up for a few more years? It's not going to bring prosperity over there. People don't have property rights. They can't own businesses. They can't start something that benefits their neighbors. And if they don't like any of that, they don't have
Trump's
the right
been
to
a
say
comedian.
anything.
Raul Guillermo Rodriguez Castro. And the Secretary of State, apparently, according to reporting, has been speaking with him. Do you think that he is potentially a person who could bring reform and a better relationship with the United States?
No.
Absolutely not. And by the way, the Secretary of State has not been talking to him. Those reports are incorrect. I've spoken to the Secretary of State, and he said no. The guy's name is El Cangrejo. That's what they know him in Cuba, and absolutely not. He is not. He's a Castro, and right now we don't need any more Castros in Cuba at all. Not.
Oh, that is 100% true. Now, look, if you bring in somebody like this and you let him run the country, where did he get his ideas? What system of government does he know? He grew up and benefited from a communist dictatorship. Of course he's going to want that for the people of Cuba because it worked out pretty well for him. You need regime change in a place like this. This would be like saying that the Ayatollah's son could take over Iran. You're not going to get much of a difference in the way things happen. There may be a little difference, but not much. And if you bring in a guy like this, what happens in a few years when the president running America has a different view of regimes and wants to see regimes emboldened and appeased? What about then? What do you think they're going to do? What's Cuba going to be like? It's going to keep going in the wrong direction. That's what's going to happen. They're just going to wait. And then the second they get their chance, boom.
Any more Castros in Cuba at all. And so we need a complete change in the leadership in Cuba. We need a political change in Cuba. All of that is really spelled out in Holmes-Burton law what the Cubans need to do in order for the embargo to be lifted. Now,
that's another part of this that's very important. So it's United States law that there has to be an embargo against the Cuban government because they oppress their own population. But that law also outlines exactly what the Cuban government has to do if they don't want the embargo. So all of this talk of, the U.S. and its awful embargo that's being so unfair to Cuba. No, there's nothing unfair about this. You've got a dictatorship which steals from its own people, takes away their rights, imprisons them. They're required to make some changes in order to do business with the United States. They don't want to make those changes. That's why we have this embargo. This is a law passed in 1996, and it defines what qualifies as a legitimate transition government, which is one that releases political prisoners, respects human rights.
People like you, from the IDs to this is a perfect example of what TDS does to a person. People like you and Rosie O'Donnell should sue mainstream media for what they've done to you. And Piers, I brought some photos of pre-Trump and post-Trump. Look at this. This is Rosie O'Donnell before Trump, right? Nice, good. Look what happens, Piers, with Trump derangement syndrome, all right? Rachel Maddow. Look at how hot Rachel Maddow was. And then look, Trump derangement syndrome. She looks like Stephen Colbert. And then look, Kathy Griffin, someone that I might have hooked up with if I was drunk. They turned her into Carrot Top.
This is a speech in assembly and moves towards free elections, and a democratically elected government is one that is chosen in free, fair, multi-party elections under international observation, which means that Fidel's grandnephew or whoever, he can't be part of this new system if this isn't what's going to happen. If he's just going to come in and bring in a new flavor of the same regime, that's not going to allow the U.S. to legally do business with Cuba. The embargo is going to stick. Furthermore, it mandates, this 1996 law, that the president develop and submit to Congress a plan for U.S. assistance to such a future Cuban government, which means Trump is going to have to step in and reorganize this place. You know he's going to get hammered for this. People are going to say Trump's a dictator. He's picking their leaders when it's already 1996 law that was just mentioned here on Fox. So there's already a plan in place to save Cuba. There's already a plan in place to bring prosperity to this island. It just doesn't involve communism. It just doesn't involve dictators. It just doesn't involve regimes that have prisons full of political prisoners who said the wrong thing.
We've never embargoed food or medicine or basic necessities. That's always been available to the
they can still get medicine from us.
The problem is they don't have any money to pay for it because they run the economy into the ground. And when you have that graph about the oil, that was all free oil from Venezuela in exchange for a security apparatus that kept Maduro in power.
That's another point that I don't think anyone's talking about. People love to say, if the United States would just stop being a bully, everything would be fine. This country does
all right,
not
Steve Drake, thanks for stopping by, Steve. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the all notification. I go live Monday through Thursday, 8 in the morning to 11, or if not longer, depending on what's going on. Thank you.
The resources to plug itself in to a world economy based on free trade. They were getting free oil in exchange for thugs that would go over to Venezuela and help Maduro keep his regime in power. This wasn't free trade. They can't afford real oil. They can't afford real medicine. They can't afford real food. They can't afford the stuff that we're so blessed to have access to in America because we are not cursed with communism. They can't afford any of that stuff. So normalizing relations with a communist regime that can't afford anything means that this communist regime stays the way it is. Nothing's going to improve for Cuba if you normalize relations and keep that same regime in place. Hopefully it happens quickly, because the issue here is that people on that island, they have been suffering for so long. Things have been terrible for so long. And these are folks who 90 miles away succeed wildly. Once they get out from under communism, people from Cuba, Cuban Americans, are no different than Cuban.
I love the passion. Want Cuba to be next. Donald Trump freed Venezuela, freed Iran. Next up is Cuba. So we're going to talk to the people here today. That's right. Find out why they're out here. Find out what they want. And have a great time. You guys know what to do. If you want to start a channel, GiveSago.com/Adam Francisco. I am the only
Adam Francisco
for the country, the Constitution, and Donald J. Trump. We're going to have a great time here today. Let's get into it. And as always, God
19 hours ago.
God bless Cuba, and God bless the Cuban people.
19 hours ago.
tell me, why are you out here today?
Because I want my Cuba free.
How can Cuba be free?
I just pray God and I'm waiting.
Do you want Donald Trump and maybe Marco Rubio to do something?
Yes, I hope so.
And you like our President Trump?
Yeah, I love it.
God bless you. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing, guys? Gracias.
Like and subscribe if you haven't.
Give me your name.
My name is Adam.
I follow you.
Francisco.
She follows you. Yeah.
Oh, you already follow me?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
You must love President Trump.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
So while I have you, tell me why you're out here today. Yeah, you follow me.
Yeah.
Tell me why you're out here. Okay.
Okay. Because I'm Cuban. I'm American too, but I'm Cuban and I want the freedom of Cuba. And my people suffer too much. And it's done. We are in 21st century.
21st
years. Too much. This is the slave. They are a slave.
Thank you. Thank you.
Trump to help out?
Of course. Of course. He's my president.
So you think Donald Trump's going to do it?
He better do it.
Oh, he better do it.
He's already freed. Well, he's helping to free Iran
and
Venezuela. So you want Iran next?
We are next.
I mean, you want Cuba next?
Yeah, Cuba is next.
And this is 2026. This is dictator fallen season.
Hopefully we are the next.
That'll be the trifecta, all three, right?
Yes, please. 27, 47, 67 is our number.
Amazing.
27 Venezuela with the regime, 47 Iran, and 67 us. So it's our time.
Awesome. Thank you for being out here. God bless Cuba.
Yes, God bless you.
And thanks for following me.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother? Let's get a picture of the shirt. Awesome. What does that say? Let me see if my Spanish is good. Live Cuba, free, liberty for. What is presos políticos? Oh, political prisoners. Yeah. Got it. Cool. Thank you for being out here. Thank you, bro. I love those shirts. Make Cuba great again. Where do I buy that shirt? Amazon. Wow, great shirts. How do you pronounce MCGA? MICA. Right?
I guess.
MICA. Make Cuba great again. Guys, look at this, guys. Look what Donald Trump is doing for the world. Like, this is incredible. This is incredible. Guys, I think it's pretty safe to say that the Cuban people are one of Trump's strongest voting blocs. Hello.
Hi.
I'm doing interviews about why people are out here today.
We're just here to support our country and our people.
And you're Cuban?
Yeah, I'm Cuban.
What do you want to see happen?
Everything, everything needs to change.
And do you want to see Trump get involved or Marco Rubio?
Of course, yes. We need just everything can change. Anybody can help. So we need all the help, all the support. Yeah, our people definitely need support.
And what would you say to Donald Trump?
We need help. Our people need help, and we're Cuban here, and we need help.
So she got a nice pair of ears.
Speak English.
That's funny.
En español es okay.
Yeah.
What Donald Trump?
Que por favor, que ayuda a mi pueblo, ayuda a mi gente, ayuda a mi sangre.
Gracias.
De nada.
Thank you. Now, the one thing I want to point out here, it's very important to point this out. You have a lot of Cuban flags here, right? But you also have American flags. You see that? These people hold both the American flag and the Cuban flag. Unlike the Democrats, who only hold other countries' flags. You go to a Democrat protest, and you're going to see Ukraine flags,
Right, not American flag. That's crazy.
Iranian regime flags. You're not going to see American flags, and if you do, they're going to be held upside down. The Democrats are un-American, anti-American, and they are a disgrace to this nation. And the biggest threat to America today is the white liberal woman.
Yes, yes. Yep, God bless.
Why are you out here today?
Because we want Cuban freedom.
Glad you're in the chat, Doug.
The freedom of Cuba.
And what would you want to say to Donald
Thanks
Trump?
for being
Do you
in
have
the
a message
chat.
for Donald Trump?
Oh, wait. Raquel, here.
Hi.
Donald Trump.
What would you want to say to Donald Trump?
We love Donald Trump. President of the United States.
The greatest president in the history of the United States.
Especially for Cuban people. And we love Trump.
Thank you. God bless you, ladies. Are you Cuban? Yes. Nice to meet you. I'm Mexican. But I'm here to support you guys.
Okay.
I want Cuba to be free.
¡Viva Cuba libre! ¡Los Castro! ¡Atrán! ¡Apavíllate que se te está cayendo los Ticana! ¡Dale, para arriba, con!
Gracias.
¡Viva Cuba libre! ¡Viva Cuba libre! ¡Abajo la dictadura! ¡Abajo la dictadura! ¡Esta es!
I love that flag. Beautiful. El mundo lo está esperando.
Ya viene llegando. Comunismo, asesino.
My man, I love your hat. Your hat. Beautiful. Look at the back of my jersey. Awesome.
O por la libertad de Cuba, porque quiero que Cuba sea libre. Todos los cubanos puedan tener libre expresión.
¿Tú eres cubana?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And do you have a message for Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Un mensaje por Donald Trump?
Que necesitamos libertad right now.
Ahora.
We need freedom. We need freedom. The Cuban state needs freedom. We are here for that. We are trying to get our freedom. We need it. My English is not the best, but I'm just gonna say, we need freedom. Donald Trump, head off, please.
Gracias. Gracias.
Thank you.
What's the shirt say? Gus Martinez for commissioner.
Yeah, I'm running for Orange County Commissioner in District 3, which is my district right here.
I'm in District 3 right now.
Yes, you're in District 3 right
I live in Tampa.
Okay, welcome.
Are you Republican or Democrat?
I am a Democrat, but it's not about party for me. It's about community, about you and me, and all that afflicts us all, right? Because I've been a nonprofit servant for 16 years around my regular job, I did the Thanksgiving event at Lake Eola for about 8 years. I'm bringing that back again this year. I'm also doing the Christmas Miracle for Homeless Kids, which I've done for a bunch of years as well. So I've been a public community servant for 15 years, and I just decided I'm going to take this to the next level.
Awesome. So you get
my card? Yeah, I'm out here trying to get my petition signed so I can qualify by petition.
Nice.
And the race is on August 18th.
Okay.
So for any of your viewers who are in Orange County, my name is Just Martinez. My phone number, 407-470-4308. And my website is votegusmartinez.com. And you know what? I'm still happy to put you on my channel. I'm a moderate. Yep. And most Hispanics are moderates. They just don't know it. Some lean left for some issues, some lean right for other issues. But as a former New Yorker, I was raised to mind my business, right? Your rights end when mine begin and vice versa. So let's focus on our local community and let's do well together because we have fellowship with Republicans. I myself was a former Republican. I have no qualms about saying that. However, you move around in life. You try to find your place in life. What made you switch? There was a lot of little things. My family, mostly, a lot of local issues. But my heart, I'm still a moderate. I still believe in God. I still have my own principles. I don't agree with any party in particular. Right? I'm a moderate. That means we are the norm. 80% of people are moderates. They just don't know it, right?
Conservative.
20% lean to one side, 20% lean to the other side. And that's what we learn in college, right? In psychology, right? The norm is the 80%, and then the
20% is the outliers.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I wish you luck with your campaign.
Thank you, brother.
God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
And thanks for running for office. Thank you. You have a message for Marco Rubio?
Yes, please.
What's the
Marco
message?
Rubio, remember, Cuba is in America. We are the next. Please, we are the next. Cuba need freedom. Cuba need freedom, Marco Rubio. Thank you.
And what would you say to President Trump?
Mr. Trump, when you come like to president, you say, make America great again. We hope you do that. It's your next step. Cuba need to go next step. Thank you.
All right, look what we got here. Look at what we got here. Where did you get that jersey?
TikTok?
TikTok?
Yeah.
How much was it?
I don't remember.
Can you turn around again? That is so cool. Wow. I got one too. Look at the back of mine. Yeah. I got mine on Temu. Made in China. Really?
Nice.
Isn't that funny?
That's good right there.
I know. I tell people it's made in China. I'm honest about it though. All right, what does he got? Does he got a Trump thing too? Did you serve?
Yeah. He still is.
Oh, you're serving, sir? Yeah. God bless you. Let me shake your hand.
I still like it so far.
Thank you for the service.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So why are you out here today? Are you Cuban?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm here because to support. Well, where are you? Are you Cuban?
No, I'm Mexican.
Oh, you're Mexican?
Yeah.
Our neighbors.
Yeah.
Listen to this message.
Saw this video on X. You gotta check it out. My man definitely ratting and raving. It's the truth. You definitely cooking. Like and subscribe.
To all those who continue to say that it is not the president's business to interfere in other countries, remember, when Biden-Harris administration was in charge, you guys were just fine with our borders being wide open to every other country that you now say we don't need to interfere with. See, you guys want to play savior when millions of people were coming into our country unvetted, undocumented, illegally. But when Donald Trump says, how about we handle this at the source? If you're escaping tyranny, if you're escaping dictatorships, how about I just get rid of your dictators?
That's what he
Hello. Listen.
He did. And if he would actually that, he actually Democrats for years, 47 years. Come on, y'all. And Trump did it. Now it's a problem. Trump bad. Obama does it. He gets praised. The Black Messiah. Stop the bullshit.
Now you can go back to your countries happily, safely, and enjoy your own land instead of coming here illegally, attacking our people, trying to change our laws, trying to change our rules, using up all of our resources. Now, many people who've come here illegally and legally are able to go and actually enjoy the land that they came from. You see, you had no problem as the minority making decisions for the majority about keeping our country wide open, not vetting anybody, not worried about our children's safety, not worried about the people who actually came over here legally. But when Trump decides to handle it at the source, you're upset. Now it doesn't make sense. Now you don't want to interfere in other people's politics and other countries' politics. But that's exactly what you were doing when you left our borders wide open. You were participating in other countries' politics. You didn't run the numbers. You didn't calculate to see how much resources we had or what was being used. You didn't calculate the safety. You didn't calculate how many people actually came here to escape tyranny or who actually came here to cause more problems. You just said, let them all in. We're helping other countries to be great how we decided to be great. Wake up.
Yep. Vote red. Don't be misled. Like and subscribe. Name is Deunta. Thank you, guys.
I got my Mexican hat right here. Yeah, you got this. Oh, here you go. So what do you want to see happen with Cuba?
Oh, I know it will happen this year thanks to Trump.
This calendar year.
I want the communists to be gone. No more communism. The Cuba represents a threat to the United States safety and national security because they have always been involved in whatever little war they can get started as long as it goes against the United States. They were involved in Somalia. They were involved in Grenada. They were involved in Angola. They had everything to do with militias in Venezuela, Nicaragua, Honduras. They have spread communism everywhere. They have treaties with terrorists.
Hold on. Let me let this car stop.
Oh, I don't know. He can burn his engine out.
Oh, shit. His car's burning. That's crazy.
The harbor terrorists, and they also promote tourism, pedophilia.
Good morning, James. Good morning.
Cuba, the prostitutes themselves.
Hold on a second. It's just the audio's not going to pick up with that idiot. No. All right, continue.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right, and you have a message for Marco Rubio or Donald Trump?
Marco,
We have a picture with Marco.
So proud of you. I
Little
voted
Marco.
for you when you were trying to run for president.
2016.
We met him at a rally.
You met him?
I went to your rally. Yes, Marco, I know you are the only one who cannot be fooled. Those talks about the regiment, talking to some people in here, I know that it's not true. I know that you know what it takes to do this, and they need to go.
They used to call him Little Marco. Now people are calling him. Now people are calling him Massive Marco.
Little Marco, who's become Massive Marco.
The bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution. It's not even a revolution. That thing they have. Has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge, they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge.
Because he's become massive.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see as president, Vance or Rubio?
Him.
Yeah, he's moving up the ranks right now.
He will.
You think he's going to be the nominee?
No.
I don't
For
think
president of the United States,
2028.
with them too?
Yeah.
Marco.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's saying that now.
He's got the resume.
Marco. I like Marco better. He's older too.
And the other countries, they'll fear him because they know him.
And I'll be honest, I think it's pretty cool that he speaks 2 languages.
Oh, that's key.
I don't think we've had a president that was fluent in 2 languages before.
Nope.
You know?
We haven't. Not that I remember.
Are you Cuban?
No, but I married one.
Smart man. You went abroad or you met her here?
Oh, I met her here.
Very cool, very cool. You Cuban? I'm doing just interviews on the street about why you're out here today.
Yeah.
Were you born in Cuba?
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you for being out here today. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Guys, the Cuban Americans are proof that many immigrants love America more than many Democrats.
Help us, our country needs you. There is a lot of Cubans, and you guys know it, here in the United States trying to help out, trying to do the...
What the heck happened?
In the most dumbest time in American history. Everything is an argument. Everything is a debate. People can't define what is a woman. Can women get pregnant? And these are teachers, doctors. And it baffles me.
Power just went out, people. I don't know what happened.
Oh, Donald Trump loves the uneducated. But y'all are as dumb as it comes. Y'all don't have no common sense. I can't believe we're arguing about having to show an ID when you go vote. It's simple to get an ID. The problem is y'all want to cheat. Y'all want to continue cheating because y'all let millions of undocumented, illegal immigrants come through that border. And y'all want all of them to vote blue. That's the problem. And y'all already know that y'all dug yourself in a hole and everybody sees through the bullshit and the lies.
Life insurance is a contract.
Thank God that we are living in times where a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are getting saved and encountering a relationship with Jesus Christ, and they see the truth. It's impossible to not have discernment when you're walking with God. It's a battle against good and evil. It's not rich or poor, black or white. If you're spiritually dead, you're not going to be able to discern it. You guys didn't get it when Kamala said you're at the wrong rally, when somebody said Jesus is Lord.
A mortgage loan.
That is the party of perversion. That is the party that hates God. That is the party based on lies and division.
The borrower stops making payments.
They're paying people to keep us separated. Don't be too pro-black that you become the antichrist. You have terrorists, groups that hate America. They have American blood on their hands. But y'all want to leave the borders wide open. Y'all forgot what happened with Osama bin Laden that quick? Y'all forgot about our beautiful Twin Towers? And I'm sick and tired of y'all keep talking about the Epstein files. Those files was on Biden's desk for the longest. He never released them. No common sense. None. I can't believe we're arguing about having to show an ID when you go vote. It's simple to get an ID. The problem is y'all want to cheat. Y'all want to continue cheating because y'all...
P shooter. Why not play myself? I'm playing other people as well. Why not play myself? Then the problem is when I don't play myself, people complain about I'm playing other people. Really? Can't satisfy nobody. Like and subscribe.
Y'all let millions of undocumented, illegal immigrants come through that border. And y'all want all of them to vote blue. That's the problem. And y'all already know that y'all dug yourself in a hole and everybody sees through the bullshit and the lies. Thank God that we are living in times where a lot of people are waking up. A lot of people are getting saved and encountering a relationship with Jesus Christ, and they see the truth. It's impossible to not have discernment when you're walking with God. It's a battle against good and evil. It's not rich or poor, black or white. If you're spiritually dead, you're not going to be able to discern it. You guys didn't get it when Kamala said you're at the wrong rally, when somebody said Jesus is Lord. That is the party of perversion. That is the party that hates God. That is the party based on lies and division. They're paying people to keep us separated. Don't be too pro-black that you become...
Yeah, I had a glitch, man. The power went off for the moment.
You have terrorists, groups that hate America. They have American blood on their hands. But y'all want to leave the borders wide open. Y'all forgot what happened with Osama bin Laden that quick? Y'all forgot about our beautiful Twin Towers? And I'm sick and tired of y'all keep talking about the Epstein files. Those files was on Biden's desk for the longest. He never released them. Now that Donald Trump released them,
Right, fix our power grid out here in Illinois, right?
why would Donald Trump be so eager to release files that Biden already had? Y'all, Epstein was a Democrat. Y'all need so much proof to know the truth, which I believe the lies real quick like that. Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Dive into your Bible. It's time.
That was powerful. I had to let this sister cook. That was powerful, and she is absolutely right. She is absolutely right. Somebody else had said something the other day. I believe it was Rashad, and he had said something. Somebody mentioned to him,
Hey there, Starboy.
So pro-God that you forget to be pro-black.
Welcome to the chat.
Most asinine thing that I have ever heard. It is so crazy. I'm here to tell you right now. I had somebody shoot me an email, and they said, man, you only say brothers and sisters to black folks. That is not true. That is not true. Especially if you've been rocking with me and been watching this channel for some time. If you are a follower of Christ, if you are a member of the kingdom, doesn't matter what or how much melanin you have or don't have, you are my brother or sister. They want us separated. They want us at odds with each other over frivolous things that don't actually matter. That's the only way that they can maintain control is by keeping us separated, because when the real body of Christ understands that we have a common enemy and it doesn't matter, it ain't about how much melanin you have. It's not about
Jason, how you been? It's been a while. How you been?
It's not about any of that type of stuff. And you understand, hey, the real common enemy that we have is out there, and we have to come together and stand together to fight said enemy. But they understand as long as they keep us separated, arguing over frivolous things, that makes us weak. And when we're weak, we're not able to showcase our true strength and do what needs to be done to aim and point our attention at the enemy. Hit the like button, share the video. We got some more to get.
I walked away from the Democratic Party after being a registered Democrat for over a decade. I was an activist on the left for like 20 years, and I was raised a Democrat. But I walked away because I realized that the modern Democratic Party does not reflect the values of liberals anymore, or certainly doesn't reflect any common sense values, not in my opinion. But a lot of the reasons why myself and other liberal-leaning individuals voted for Barack Obama were because a lot of his policies and ideas. And those same policies and ideas are now demonized by the Democratic Party. For example, Barack Obama was very strict on our border. He deported the crap out of people. He implemented travel bans from certain countries for we all know what reason, right? And most of us liberals, we were like, hey, dude, you're doing a really good job. But then fast forward a few years, which I had TDS for the longest time, but fast forward a couple of years, now Donald Trump's doing it, and now the entire Democratic Party is like, this is bad. This is bad. We cannot have borders. Borders are invisible lines. This is stolen land, and everybody who comes here should get free health care, even if they're here illegally. And if you don't believe us and you don't agree with us, then you need to be wiped off the internet. You should be allowed to talk because you're racist and you're xenophobic and you're uneducated and you're a bigot. That's where the Democratic Party has went. They also, I was a huge advocate for legalizing same-sex marriage because myself and a lot of other liberals were like, equality, equality, equality. But now we have the mainstream Democratic Party who's doing the exact opposite of advocating for equality, which, at this point, what do you advocate for in this country? But they're advocating for equity, which is the freaking opposite of equality, okay? So it's like a lot of these liberal ideologies and liberal policies that have been forefront in the Democratic Party, at least in my lifetime, are now bigoted. They're now bad. They're now not reflected at all within the mainstream Democratic Party. And so what did that leave me to do? I had to go vote for Donald Trump. The first time I voted for Donald Trump, I still had TDS, but I was thinking it's better than voting for those people who are raising their hand on the debate stage saying free healthcare for all. I'm like, I can't do that. Because I want more affordable healthcare. Who doesn't? Barack Obama, in my opinion, didn't do a very good job, but it's going to make it worse if we try to give free handouts to the whole wide world. I'm just saying. But either way, I encourage all the liberals, and I know more people see it now than they did in 2020 when I walked away. But if you're seeing what I am seeing, walk away. You don't have to become a Trump fan. You don't have to become a Republican. You don't have to become right-wing. But be done with the Democratic Party because they do not represent you. They represent progressive socialism, not liberalism. They actually wish really bad things on you and I. Trust me.
She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. The Democratic Party in this day and age, man, is anti-America, anti-God.
What up, Slum? Glad you're in the chat.
You know what? Matter of
Welcome
fact, let
back.
me show you what Vince Everett Ellison thinks of the Democrat Party.
You should get out. It's a party of slavery from 1800 to 1860. The party of the Confederacy from 1860 to 1865. It's part of
I just played myself. You missed it.
1965. You guys vote for this party. You know, okay, yeah. Christians are at the party, but number one, I'm just going to say it like this, like my good friend Charlie Kirk said. If you are in the Democratic Party, you are not a Christian. Plain and simple. Can I make that any more binary for you? The God Gap shows white liberals making the fools out of y'all. And if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be with these people and you shouldn't give them power. So if you are giving them power, you're not a Christian. Get it good. So we going to be on this side. Y'all going to be on this side. We going to get it on because we don't get along. And I'm going to keep bringing this to you because I'm going to wake you up.
He's absolutely right.
Wake you up.
For quite some time as well. You cannot be a Christian, a follower of Christ, a follower of the way, and support the wicked liberal agenda of the Democrat Party. Now, hear me now. Just because you call yourself a conservative doesn't necessarily mean you
Good morning,
are
Patrick.
a Christian. You can be a conservative and not be a Christian. You can't. I know people like that. I know people that are conservatives. They believe in the conservative agenda, but they're not followers of Christ. They don't believe that Jesus is their Lord and Savior. So don't get it twisted. But I would like people to take the time, do your due diligence.
Yep.
Get an understanding of who these parties are. Even if you are someone that has historically supported the Democrat Party, look at their agenda. Look at their agenda. And start going down the list and just say, hey, can I continue to support this? Simple as that. Can you continue to support it? Because it's wicked and it's evil. Large majority of it, if not all of it. And what's
They don't believe in Jesus.
Is they're designed to take and steal
That's not
from
good.
it, which is also
Jesus died on the cross for our sins.
Everything about the Democrats, man. Everything about them is meant to destroy the nation. Everything about it. It's meant to destroy the nation and make sure that they have power in perpetuity. Simple as that, man.
A few months ago, girls in my school found out that a biological boy was allowed to use the girls' restroom. When we spoke up and said that we were uncomfortable, the school board basically said that it didn't matter. They said girls being uncomfortable sharing a bathroom with a biological male was not grounds for any action. Think about that. Teenage girls like myself stood up and said that we were uncomfortable and scared, and adults told us to just deal with it. Some of us, like myself, just started avoiding the bathrooms altogether. Some younger girls are scared to even go in the bathroom. This shouldn't be happening at school. Girls deserve privacy, girls deserve dignity, and all girls deserve adults that actually listen to them.
She's absolutely right. And this is a shame. But wherever you find a Democrat, you will find this wicked agenda, this wicked policy. And they will tell young girls just, hey, move along, go along, get along. This is a non-issue. This is a non-issue. And the sad part about it is you got women that are in the Democrat Party that are supporting this foolishness. But these are also the same women that will tell you that, hey, I'm a woman, we need, equity and equality, and we need to push women, into all of these spaces. And then they'll turn around and say, yeah, if a dude feels like
The liberals don't believe in they don't believe.
he can get the same treatment.
Killing your baby, that's not cool. That's death. That's murder.
I need every single
The Democrat Party's pushing that. Marjorie Singer,
that has the privilege of freedom
millions of
that
babies have been
participated
killed.
during the No Kings protest. So say protesting our fascist dictatorship government to come to the front and have a seat. This was 19 years old Saleh Mohammadi, who was
Not just my
executed by
opinion.
public hanging yesterday in Iran. His crime? protesting the Islamic regime. He was captured back in January and executed just.
He was born into sin. That's why Jesus came down the cross for us. So,
what is right
what you mean by
here
that?
in the United States, a fundamental civil rights. He was hanged at the age of 19 for
The whole point of
envisioning
Jesus is for us to become sinless. He was already born into sin.
despite the U.S. pressure and the global plea for the regime to release the political prisoners captured during the protests. He was a wrestler world champion that represented Iran, bringing home the medal.
How I'm protecting anybody? I live in Rockford. How I'm protecting anybody?
Senseless, blatant political execution by the Islamic regime to continue terrorizing their citizens. He was only 19 years old. An entire life.
I know Trump mentioned Jesus' name more than more than any other presidents I done heard of.
Wanting to live in freedom.
Sad, man. And yet you'll have Democrats, liberals saying that we live in a fascist society. We're living up under a dictator. We're living in an oppressive society. These people don't know oppression. These people don't know fascism. Although they're huge proponents for it. They love communism and socialism. They love spending other people's money. They love to deny people the ability to protest that don't agree with them.
When did Trump go to church? You tell me. I don't know.
But yet you have liberals out here.
Do you go to church?
And protesting and carrying on, talking about no kings. But they're quiet when it comes to people that are actually dealing with real issues, that are really being oppressed. And you had a young man that had his life taken, and yet you have people in this country that will say the Constitution is an outdated document when they get out here and protest on a day-to-day basis. And no one arresting them. No one's locking them up. No one's taking them for a political prisoner or deleting these people. They have the ability to do it. Folks that get out there and interview them. It's a shame, man. They should be ashamed of themselves, but they have no shame. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or your brother a coffee. The link's in the description box below. Join us Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard.
A woman, liberal, walk up to me and ask, well, what about you isn't Democrat? To which I responded, well, besides my skin color, what about me is Democrat? And it was at that very moment that she realized that God gave her enough common sense to ask me about my values. Now, don't get me wrong, I was raised to vote Democrat down the ballot. So when I first started, I would say things like, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a conservative. But now I know all too well I am a full-fledged, hardcore conservative, and I'm proud of it. I mean, my favorite saying is I was born black, not Democrat. But in all...
Right. You know what I'm saying? We actually thought that way because I was always told, if you black, vote Democrat or vote who, no matter who, that bullshit. Y'all conservative, love America, Republican baby. You know what I'm saying? So let's have to continue to cook, but guys can see it from X, she's cooking.
In all seriousness, whenever I began to think for myself politically, the choice was easy. I mean, why would I want to belong to a party whose mission is to infringe on the Second Amendment as if a criminal would ever participate in something like a mandatory buyback?
Right, putting up stickers on doors, but no guns allowed. Like she said, like a criminal going to just listen to a sign or even read a sign. Half these criminals can't even freaking read.
Why would I want to belong to and endorse
Or can't even tell what time it is when it comes to a hand clock.
A godless party? Because there is no such thing. And I mean, no such thing as a trans child. We have confused children and sick, enabling adults.
Man.
Why would I want to belong to a party that takes pride in shedding innocent blood? Number one, as if that's not what God hates. Number two, as if there's not a black market for baby organs. And number three, as if abortion clinics didn't start in the hood.
Hello.
Because if you think Trump is bad...
Start with the KKK party, the Democrat party. Marjorie Singler, whoever her name is, she's a Democrat. She pushed that shit. Here we are. Millions of babies aborted.
You should research exactly who Margaret Sanger was. But speaking of the
There
Black
you go. That's her
community,
name right
why
there.
would I want to belong to a party who's responsible for the foundation of the Triple K? But it's not just that. Supposedly in the 1900s, the party switched, right? But what never changed, what I noticed never changed, is Democrats' love for immigration, how they have always prioritized
Wow.
that.
Hello. See? Listen. It's all about the message. Just listen.
Imagine every single Democrat leader helping you joke about what a black job is in 2024, exposing your ignorance on 1924 and how imperative the Immigration Act of that year was, how it was all reversed in 1965 with the Hart-Celler Act, how Congress refuses the advice of the Rockefeller Commission and the Heads-First Commission, and how to this day they refuse to adopt the Barbara Jordan blueprint, validating every single thing that Dr. Todd Anderson spoke of generally, but specifically what Mrs. King spoke of in 1991 with her letter to Congress. Now, look, I'm not saying that the Republican Party is perfect.
We know that.
Nobody's perfect.
Nope.
What I'm saying is, I side with Malcolm X when he said that the liberals were the worst thing that could ever happen to the Western Hemisphere, but y'all ignore that, just like how y'all ignore LBJ saying, and I quote, "I'm going to have Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years, and by God, 60 years later, I see no sign of recourse, but rest assured your vote is your voice, even if it is a whisper."
How I became a conservative. Truth. Is to be a Black Democrat to be a pawn in the chess of power and profit. It is to be a Black conservative, the player that society fears, uncontrolled, self-educated, and most importantly, free.
Boom. Definitely free. You know, and this whole thing is crazy. I lost friends and family members because I'm a conservative now. I'm a Trump supporter. And that's okay. I prayed for them. I wish the best for them, because other than that, I was a Democrat, and so by me being a Democrat, I had the experience of the bullshit. I woken up, got red pill, MAGA, ultra MAGA, something to share that with you guys, you know. Actually coming with some good stuff to share with, good content. And I hope you guys like it. I share it with you guys, you know.
Women's restrooms.
Seeing this right here, we ain't friends no.
Tell me again why men belong in women's restrooms.
Wait a minute. This is a man. Let's back him up a little bit. Let's just back him up just a little bit. Get a look at his face. Right there. Okay. This is a man who I guess is a new woman. Let's call him a trans woman. That's when a man becomes a woman. He's a new woman. Trans woman. He's transforming more than meets the eye into a woman.
Decepticon.
He's on his knees, bro. Is he touching himself? Holy mackerel. This is what the Democrats support. This is what the Democrats support. Wow. This is what they stand for. This is their representation right here. Them. This is it right here.
Okay, thanks. That clears things up.
And then they so damn crazy that they are the ones that's wishing death on our own military.
I just seen a motherfucker get on this app and say, "Word on the street, Iran running shit down. They putting BTA. I guess the number wasn't 6 of my fellow American citizens that died. I guess the number was closer to 500. What the fuck is funny about that?" Now, there's a black dude that made a video. Now, I already know you don't care nothing about your life, but imagine your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister was a part of those troops that died, and somebody got on this app laughing at them. They didn't gun your brother down. Killed your whole ass mama. Shit not funny. Fuck you laughing at?
At all.
And let me just say, any loss of life is not a joking matter. But for you to get up here laughing and joking about your fellow American citizens passing away, fighting for you, America, taking it as a joke is mind blowing to me. Okay, and then let's say they get their shit off and they get over there and they start to bomb America and your mama die, your granny. Is it still gonna be jokes then? But then, man, I gotta be mindful. You probably don't care about nobody. So, but for y'all people who think like this, go Iran, go live over there. Why are you still living in America? Well, I don't understand.
And we only feel it when it hits home. So he's absolutely right. If it happens to their mom or their father or something, then they would care. But they don't care. It's not hitting close enough to home. I bet if one of those bombs from one of those other countries hit our shores, I bet they'd be worried then.
I say thank God we have a president who cares. I say thank God we have a president with good business savvy. Thank God we have a president who is forming great alliances with other countries. Yes, go ahead and let ICE come in and take over the TSA positions. And while they're at it, don't let not one immigrant come through. Not one for the next 5 years. Let them figure out their land on their own. Stop all immigration. How you feel about that, Democrats? You guys aren't stopping any motion. None. Let them go broke day by day.
I think that the way that Trump is handling things is necessary. It's an overcorrection in their eyes, absolutely, because they just opened up the borders. We already know the story. They opened up the borders, let millions over, treated them like kings and queens, and treated our people like sugar, honey, iced tea. This dude hates the Democrats.
Why do I hate the Democratic Party for Black Americans? Here's some history you didn't learn in school. Democrats literally fought in the Civil War to keep us enslaved. Once they lost the Civil War, they opposed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, freeing all enslaved Black people, giving us equal rights and the right to vote.
Screenshot that.
And once Reconstruction was issued by Republicans to integrate Black people into society, Democrats passed the Jim Crow laws. Yeah, you didn't know that came from Democrats, did you? Once Reconstruction was passed to give Black people political power, the Democratic Party founded the KKK, a terrorist organization created to terrorize and to intimidate Black people from voting. After this, Democrats opposed the 1957 Civil Rights Act, the 1960 Civil Rights Act, and the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Though that act is accredited to Lyndon B. Johnson, who was the sitting president at the time, the majority of the opposition, even to the 1964 Civil Rights Act, came from Democrats. And I know what I'm going to hear now, but the party switched.
Never switched.
Who do you think taught you that? Maybe the same people who spent their life oppressing you for hundreds of years, who are trying to make you disregard and forget about that history. The parties never switched. That is often repeated and regurgitated, but is not supported by historical documentation. What more accurately happened is that certain voting blocks within both of those parties switched. The ideologies of both of those parties and what they were founded on never switched places. Not only is that inaccurate, it's irrational. Most of us have no idea about what really happened and what caused us to realign from being Republican to being Democrat. This is exactly why I wrote my book, How the Democrats Won the Blacks from Physical to Mental Slavery, to tell the true accounts of this history. If you want to learn the accurate history that they never taught us in school, the book is available now for pre-order.
The Confederate flag, it's like the Black people in the South that love the Confederate flag. And they go to show you, like, you know, the party never switched. This is the people, the mentality. The baby mamas having about 5 or 10 kids. Don't want the daddy around, want the government to pay for them. That's a problem too. All these baby mamas have all these kids, 5 different baby daddies, nobody paying child support. They got the government paying for it.
On Amazon.
I'll go buy the book. So I think everything that he's saying, there's a lot of truth to it, but I still also believe that there's a party switch. Prove me wrong if I'm wrong. Prove me wrong if I'm wrong.
It's based on the people voting to be Democrats. They want the government to give them their government cheese still.
It's an interesting conversation.
They off their government cheese.
Brought up on either side. I tuned in because I think it's.
They keep on voting Democrat. They want their government cheese. That's the problem.
Something
us delving into a little further, especially since this is what people try to say in order to shoo away any type of new information that you put in front of them. Why? Because they don't want to feel like they're on the wrong side of history. Who does? So they'll just say the party switched. We were never that party. You keep trying to put KKK on us, but that's you all. That's why Jasmine Crockett get away with calling the right, the party in the White House is the KKK party and all that other stuff. Like, they get away with that, saying that, because that's what they run through themselves. That's what they believe. Even though Joe Biden did the eulogy at one of the
Robert Byrd.
Grand Wizards. I don't know what the hell you call them. What do you call them? And why are they made up like they daggone on The Legend of Zelda or something? They must have been fans of Game of Thrones. Like, what the hell, bro?
The clergy, something he was.
Dragon, National Dragon. What? We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to was worth minus $64,000. She was $64,000 in debt a few years ago. Now she is worth $30 to $40 million. Somebody tell me how that happened.
This is the man we're talking about. His name is Billy Muhammad, but prosecutors say the 28-year-old uses the names Kareem and Altesto on Snapchat. And that is where investigators say he met his latest victim as well as his two previous ones. Prosecutors say he picked up his most recent victim in Mankato back in September and drove her to a hotel near the Mall of America where he took her phone, told her she wasn't leaving, raped her, and held her against her will for 10 years. That's according to prosecutors.
This is the United States of America.
Where are you from?
I'm WSBA Channel 7.
Okay.
My name is Vanessa.
Great, thanks.
United States of America. So many people are being robbed through this process. This is wonderful. This God is holy show. But there's American citizens who are being deported. They show their birth certificates. They show their passports. They show their IDs. And a lot of the work being done is a little sloppy.
Well, first of all, I'll let ICE handle that accusation that you're making, that they're deporting American citizens who are showing birth certificates and all that. I don't believe that that's true, but I'll let them respond to that. But you see,
it ain't true. But let the news reporter try to fearmonger and put lies out there and ask fake questions.
You seem to have no sympathy. You seem to have no sympathy for people that have been victimized by illegal aliens. What about people, you have someone driving drunk and kills American citizens? What about people that have been deported previously and let in under Biden, who then commit sexual offenses or commit homicides? And then we have more victims as a result of the federal government's previous inattention and unwillingness to enforce the law. So there are a lot of people that
I'm wrong about what?
by illegal immigration. There have been people that have been harmed by Tren de Aragua gang members who should not be in this country in the first place. So let's just be clear. Who are you fighting for? We're fighting for the citizens of Florida. We want them to be able to live in a society that upholds the rule of law. We want them to be able to live in a state that is safe. And we have to take action on it. I'll let them address your accusation. But the notion that somehow this is America, therefore we're supposed to have an open border, we're not supposed to enforce immigration laws, we're supposed to just sit on our hands when Biden let in 7 or 8 million people illegally into the country? No, that is not responsible. That is not what our citizens elected us to do. So we're in this fight. I think a lot of these narratives that I hear, to me, just instinctively, I think they're fake narratives because I've seen it happen so many times. But I will let folks at ICE respond to your accusation.
Well, the first thing I'll say is that I think the governor's words really stand on their own. The men and women of ICE are working every single day to protect the communities, working with state and local officials to do our very best to protect the communities after the Biden administration opened our borders, allowed people to come into this country that should have never came into this country in the first place, jeopardizing our families and our communities and putting them in harm's way on a daily basis. The men and women of ICE are going into those communities to protect the men and women in these communities to be able to do the mission that we've been set on
every single day that the president has given us.
349,000 new court cases in 2025 alone. Only 1% are new cases based on alleged criminal activity. So a lot of these people don't have criminal past or background. So who's being arrested and where is this information on ICE's website? It's on court documents, so we can't get this information. And ICE, quite frankly, isn't being very transparent.
Look, I'll stand by the fact that if you're in this country illegally, you are a criminal. You will be deported. You will have the opportunity to be able to come back into this country through the correct immigration processes. We're working through those every single day. But our number one goal is to keep the American people safe from the criminals that are walking in this country that should have never been let through in the first place.
And my question to you is, whose side are you on? These daggone Democratic reporters get on my daggone nerves, bro. I should probably put that in. But they are literally giving us their butts to kiss. Wow, they take up for illegal immigrants who commit these crimes against American citizens. If you are so pressed to defend these illegals, why don't you go where they are in other countries? Feel free to use your passport and your privilege to move to their country with your American ass and take up for them there. Don't let them come here and make us their victims, victimize Americans, and then you try to take up for them. Make that make sense. Please make that make sense. I don't care if you're a Democrat, conservative, you're MAGA, it does not matter at this point. All of us are American citizens.
That's it.
All of us love our daughters. All of us love our wives and sisters and nieces and aunts. And I'm specifically naming the women because it's our jobs to protect them. God bless man to be the head of the household, the head of our communities. That's why we try to put this strength forward. But when we have reporters like this lady that don't care about anything that Ron DeSantis said, she was talking about, but what about sticking to the legal confines? What if it's not proven that they committed a crime? What if they didn't commit a crime? Are we still going to deport people who didn't commit a crime? Dumbass! Sneaking into a country is committing a crime. If I sneak into Disney World, I committed a crime. If I sneak into a movie theater, I committed a crime. If I sneak into anywhere I'm not supposed to be, a museum, I committed a crime. You mean to tell me ain't nothing wrong with sneaking into a country? You mean to tell me that 7 million people can sneak into a country, be protected, be financed, be housed for freaking free, and we still take up for them?
That's crazy.
When does it end?
When?
And then I double dog dare you to take your privileged American
Subscribe if you haven't.
to any other country. Take one of their flags downtown where they are, where their government runs their country, and put their
Pat.
flag.
What's up, Pat?
And tell them to read between the lines. Say, F you. Burn their flag and say, I don't have to do nothing y'all say. I'm American. I love America.
You're going to lock your ass up or throw you off a roof.
Do that in Korea. Do that in Russia. Do that in Iran, since y'all want to take up for them so damn much.
Right. America first. You can't. That's why my show is about ranting and raving, not just me ranting and raving. I'm going to play other people ranting and raving as well. Because it's all about sharing information. It's all how you take it. Let him continue.
Do that anywhere. Y'all are spoiled and entitled. And y'all feel like American citizens are the ones that should be taken up for a second rate. No, we should be first before anybody. We pledge our allegiance to this flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Every single one of you
who put these illegals before us,
You stupid.
you have completely gone against everything we stand for. Everything we stand for. That's just my point of view. And guess what? This guy that I just now showed y'all.
And also, people be hating on my channel. I am monetized. I done seen people with million subscribers or 20,000 subscribers and not monetized. I'm a small channel and I'm monetized. And I'm coming with honest and truth. If you don't like it, it's all good. But you're still welcome to this channel. Like I said, once again, I'm monetized. I don't ask nobody for super chat or nothing. I'm here to share and learn from you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Like and subscribe.
This dude right here. Check this out. That reporter that was just now talking to Ron DeSantis, she would have been in favor of this guy being released. She can care less about American citizens being found in bridges. When that black girl in Maryland was thrown over the bridge after she was raped by an illegal immigrant, nobody talked about it.
Yeah, Zach, honest and true.
You mean to tell me it takes for a conservative news channel to talk about it simply because CNN, ABC, CBS,
And common sense.
everybody is not speaking on it? Why? Because it goes against your narrative.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
They don't care about that, man. Here's the story, just in case you haven't heard it. Let me stop yelling. Here's the story, just in case you haven't heard it yet. Because I need for you to see it for yourselves, for you to fully understand what's going on here.
Man out on probation
One
for
at a
sexual
time.
assault is charged once again. This time, prosecutors say he picked up a woman he met on Snapchat and raped her at a hotel in Bloomington.
And prosecutors once called this man an extreme public safety risk, but he never spent a day in prison for his previous crimes. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni joining us from our newsroom now. And Mike, prosecutors signed off on plea deals in these previous cases.
Kelsey and Randy, a judge sentenced the Minneapolis man in those cases back in May, but he got credit for time served, so he never went to prison. It was all part of a pair of plea deals. This is the man we're talking about. His name is Billy Muhammad, but prosecutors say the 28-year-old uses the names Kareem and Altesco.
Well, in my own opinion, why not? I'm not going to use somebody else's opinion. I'm going by my own experience and when I'm living.
As well as his two previous ones. Prosecutors say he picked up his most recent victim in Mankato back in September and drove her to a hotel near the Mall of America where he took her phone, told her she wasn't leaving, raped her, and held her against her will for days. That's according to prosecutors. Investigators used DNA to identify Muhammad as the suspect. His profile was already in the database from previous cases involving sexual assaults in Minneapolis in 2017 and another one in 2024.
It's all propaganda. At the end of the day,
sentenced Muhammad in May in those cases.
everything's a distraction.
Including one involving a 15-year-old girl. Prosecutors say two other unidentified men took part in that assault.
Thank you, Barry. I don't get how people come on my channel and tell me what to do. And it's amazing. At least subscribe and like to the channel.
And one threatened the victim with a gun. But Muhammad never spent a day in prison, as we said, because he got credit for time served while awaiting trial as part of a pair of plea deals. We've reached out to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office for comment. A spokesman there told us it is checking into it.
Let me know in chat. Chat, please let me know. Are you pissed off by this? Are you pissed off by this? Because if you're not, get the hell off my chat right now. Because you are a child. You don't care about people. You are a demon. Be gone, Satan. Be gone, Satan. If you are not pissed off by that, something is wrong with you. You are cold inside. You are dead inside. Ain't nowhere in the world that you can see that story and not be upset. Why in the hell are American reporters trying to take up for these people? Why is our judicial system failing us by allowing them to still roam the streets, do whatever the hell they want to do, raping our citizens, and we can do nothing about it? I got a wife and two daughters. This pissed me off. I got sisters. This pissed me off. Are you out your damn mind? You mean to tell me you don't have any women in your life that you love enough to want them to be protected? To want there to be some...
And the thing about it, the people I do show, they show CNN bullshit. MS Now, and all the other shit. So I'm not just showing just a conservative channel. We also show other stuff as well, other news. Fuck Epstein. You know what, Slum? I'm finna get you up out of here, man. If you a subscriber, it's cool. I'm tired of this Epstein shit. Fuck out of here with that shit. Shit's stupid.
Some type of, I don't know. You want the person that did this to your people to pay for it. You want them to not be able to do it to anybody else. If you want them out and about, you don't care about people anymore. It's like you want to see this happen to people. Like this turns you on. Like every single time you hear about this, you go into your little private space and you get some popcorn and some lubricant and you do nasty things to yourself.
Shit's silly.
Thinking about all the atrocities that's happening to American citizens because you yourself are a traitor. You have a treasonous attitude. You have a demonic attitude. You need to be saved by the blood of Christ. Ain't no way in the world you can watch that. You go on, what is it? Snapchat. You go on to Snapchat, you hook up with a girl, you meet her at the American Mall, the mall that's flooded by Somali Americans. Just in case you don't know, go ahead and look it up. The Mall of America, look it up. Flooded by immigrants. He take her there so that he can just mix in with everybody else. Takes her phone, take her somewhere, grape her, get locked up and released like a damn fish. Like we're fishing for fun. We're fishing for sport. Like we're just catching rapists and then throwing them back out. We catch them, take a picture with them, and throw them back in the water. The law is the reason why this guy feels like he can just live to grape another day. This is what they do. They come here and they believe that the American dream, the same way that Ilhan Omar, they believe that the American dream is taking advantage of American citizens, doing whatever you got to do, whatever you want to do, as long as it's at the behest of
Thank you,
American
guys.
citizen.
Thank
They
you.
don't care about us. They think we're rich. They think we're privileged, and they want to take advantage of us. These people hate us. They don't come here only so that they can make good money and live the dream. They don't come here only to escape whatever rules and regulations and type religious practices that they have in their countries they're from. They don't come here only for that. They come here also because for centuries in their country, for centuries, they have been taught to hate America. They smile in our damn faces. Ilhan Omar was worth minus $64,000. She was $64,000 in debt a few years ago. Now she is worth $30 to $40 million. Somebody tell me how that happened. The Somali immigrant, the Somali community have the lowest IQ of all Americans. Please tell me how they're able to get government financing and grants, $1 million, $100,000 grants, over and over and over again to fund their communities. How are they able to own storefronts? How are they able to open up and own daycare centers when they have no money? They have no history. They have no credit history. How are they able to get all of these grants? There are American citizens out here who went to school, who did things the right way, followed the law. And then when they got to a point in their life, they tried entrepreneurship. And they failed time and time and time again. And sometimes they will tell you that you make too much money for them to help you. If I'm lying, somebody check me. Somebody let me know if I'm lying. But you mean to tell me that these Somalians can come here and on day one have a business grant? Have 3 businesses operating out of a little storefront?
Why, you need to have a credit score of a 700 or better to get all of those things. He talking about cars, housing, buildings. And we the Americans working our ass off and we can't even get this shit. That's crazy. He's cooking.
In their community, it looks like a grocery store, but they actually rent out buses in that store. They actually raise children in that store. They actually fix credit in that store. They actually fix computers in that store. What?
One-stop shop.
We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days.
But I do want to point out, this is an empty line right now. We are standing in the middle where travelers come to check in for TSA. Yesterday,
This was 14 minutes ago. 14 minutes ago.
Lines aren't too bad. People are happy to have ICE agents in the airports right now. The wait time in the TSA lines has gone from like 3 to 4 hours to around 30 to 40 minutes. The only people that are unhappy about it, of course, are Democrats. They're out here trying to spread the narrative that ICE agents are creating chaos and fear. But the only people that are creating chaos are white liberal women.
Nazis don't belong in America, and they don't belong in airports.
Oh, and Democrat paid protesters. So yeah, just one more thing that normal, everyday people are happy about. And Democrats aren't, because they're not happy about anything. They hate everything. Doesn't matter what it is. They even hate the fact that people aren't waiting 4 hours in the TSA line right now. So.
Boy. So we got to talk about a fascinating turn of events from liberals who are currently losing their minds over the diversity that we're seeing from ICE agents at airports. Okay, so as everybody knows, President Trump has geniusly deployed ICE agents to airports to help out with TSA. Okay, the lines are long, and in some airports, there are reports that ICE is showing up, that they're helping out, and that the lines are not as long anymore, right? In some airports, the lines are still pretty long. Regardless, ICE is there to help, right? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing harmful about it. I think it's a great thing for them to be there and to help out. Now, liberals are upset for multiple reasons. One, they hate ICE in general, okay? But two, they're mad because ICE had...
They really hate the black ICE. They really hate that. Come on, y'all. The liberals pissed.
a diverse workforce. Yes, liberals are upset.
At some point, Donald Trump was a Democrat, and he switched Republican, and that's when they started calling him a racist, when he flipped Democrat to Republican. If you look at all the pictures he was kicking with people, they was all Democrats. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton.
That ICE has diversity, right? Like, for example, look at this picture right here, okay? This person says, so many non-white ICE agents, it's wild and disturbing. This person says, stud ICE agent is not what we mean when we say representation matters. Wait, hold on now. Hold on. So you mean to tell me the same people who are boo-hoo-wad and crying about representation, how black folks and so-called people of color need opportunities, are now mad and upset that you have non-white people that are participating in good government-paying jobs, right? Protecting this country, okay? On the front lines of protecting this country, they're mad.
Right, they getting paid with $100,000.
This police force, ICE, they have diversity, right? That there are many different types of people working for the agency. But you have these people on the internet who are really, really mad, right? Black liberals are really upset, and they're going off on the black folks who signed up to become ICE agents. Take a look.
And look at them, so embarrassed. The blacks, the lad. They know they looking dumb, too. Look at Porky the Pig, like you're ready for a snack. Is it time to eat yet? No, you don't get no break, big neck. I can hear the brothers right now. They paying me $29 an hour. I'm going to do it.
Shut up. What happened? They used to wear masks. What happened to the mask? Put the mask back on. Why the white men the only ones want to hide their face? You would think the brothers and the lads would be like, can I get one of them ICE agent masks? Don't nobody want to see that. Are y'all watching the news?
Goofy, are you watching the news? They asked me not to wear the mask while they at the airport. It was asked. There was no issues with it, but
They looking for you, dummy. They looking for your mama, mama's your grandmama, your brother.
You know what a mama is?
Just in case y'all didn't know, the ancestors ain't pleased with you, ICE agent. Just in case you was wondering, we see y'all black ass out there, and we don't fuck with y'all. Not the least.
Here we go.
I mean, you have literally sold your soul for profit, and you believe that something good gonna come from it. You are forgetting that these motherfuckers are racist, and that
Here we go.
it's all said and done.
Here we go.
And they have you
Being on food stamps, EBT, that's racist. How about that? Get off that. Get a fucking job.
used you until they can't use you no motherfucking more. They gonna hang your black ass out the motherfucking dry. And when they do, don't you dare, with your Candace Owens ass, expect us to forget.
I don't trust Candace Owens either. I don't trust her. The shit I've been hearing and seeing from her.
I don't agree with it. I think being a black person working for ICE is like a black person working with the KKK. That's really how I feel. Now, maybe she needs to provide for her family. That's her only option. No, whatever. But this is my controversial take. I think any black person that works for a police officer.
Not you, AD. I'm just ranting and raving. Nobody mentioned about it. I'm mentioning about it.
Or especially ICE agents, they are sellouts. 9 out of 10 times. Let me explain why. Tell your bad experience with racist cops with the black police officers. The black police officers, they will defend the white man. And the black police officers, they will try so hard to prove their racist white cop partners that they're one of the good ones, right? That they can treat their own people harder. They can go harder on their people, right? Like they try to get approval by their white supremacist police officers, right? You get what I'm saying? And listen.
And this how I know these Democrat people are full of shit. So y'all keep on saying this white supremacist shit. So y'all keep on saying the white man got power over you. How? Let that mentality go. There's no white supremacy. There's no black supremacy. Please let that shit go. How is another man getting power over you guys like that? How? Your mind, let that shit go. This TDS, this white supremacy, KKK, let that shit go. We all human race. Let's come together, y'all. What the heck? White supremacy. Jesus Christ. And that's the problem then. Stop voting then. Y'all voted for Biden. That's a white man. Voted for Trump. That's a white man. Stop with this white supremacy shit. That shit's dead, y'all. Let's do better. How that person got the power over you guys like that?
Say the white man's racially profiling you as a black person.
How?
Right? Or if you're a brown person, correct? And the black police officers, they're not going to hold the other white men accountable.
To all of the non-white ICE agents,
wow.
Who do you think is going to miss out on those bonuses and all that money? Do you think it's the white agents? Because I can tell you, as being in the workforce of America for over 12 years, it's not going to be you. You're not going to be the person taking that home, babes.
How'd she know this?
Doing all of this for that, hun. You've got to be smarter than this. You are not going to be the recipient of that cash. It's just not going to your black ass, your black and brown ass. It's not happening. And I'm sorry. I wish
These the same goofy people who were talking about the Black Panther Party going to outshoot ICE. Now the Black Panther Party broken up. What happened to that? What happened to dude? Oh, it was just a meme, huh? Yeah, it was out there right about the Black Panther Party. Yeah, they're going to stop ICE. They're going to protect us. Yeah, they got guns bigger than ICE. What happened to that bullshit? And they got sued, I think, by the cousin or the niece or something like that. She supposed to have sued them guys for that bullshit.
it was different. I'm a black woman. I'm getting even less than you. But I wish it was
Zach, I'm 43 years old.
You are not getting that money.
Stop it, bro.
Going to you.
So there's a video of this black woman going around that she's working for ICE, and she's been put at the airports. And I reposted a screenshot of it, and then I put, oh my God, like we've lost a sister. And the black Americans in the comments
Look at that nose ring.
the fuck up. Someone said, there is no shame on her whatsoever for working for ICE. Black Americans are not obligated to have an alliance with illegal immigrants. Okay, valid, but I did not know that many black Americans were for ICE.
Yeah.
I also saw a post where someone said, this is exactly what I voted for. Go MAGA. And then there's other people saying like she needed money, you know, money's money. Okay.
So Zach, you a historian, huh?
All money is good money.
Okay.
And I'm just like,
you know more than me. I know how, but it's cool.
Weren't ICE agents kidnapping Black Americans? And then I just came back to realization and I said, you know what? Let me mind my business. And I thought, this is exactly why Harriet Tubman left a lot of people behind.
This is what we mean when we say all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Because y'all, ICE agents don't have their mask on in the airports today. And the amount of Black and brown ICE agents I've seen, Lord. Exhibit B. Exhibit C right here. Like, I know things are rough, but out of all of the government jobs that y'all could get, as people of color, y'all couldn't pick something else. I don't know.
And that's crazy. It was mad for Black people being police officers. Now y'all mad about them being ICE agents. Selective outrage, for real. Can't get no money no kind of way. The right way. Don't work for the government, it's the white man. Don't work for the government. These people funny. This is very funny.
Am I the only one who thinks that if you are a Black ICE agent, that Tourette's guy should be allowed to call you? White people do not respond to this.
Due to the craziness happening at airports across the nation, I'm seeing way too many Black people in ICE uniforms. One Black person in an ICE uniform is
You should be happy.
Why am I seeing gaggles? Why am I seeing crowds? Why am I seeing multiple groups of people who look like me in ICE uniforms?
Seeing Black men and a woman and Latino men in Newark, New Jersey as ICE agents. A Black woman being an ICE agent. Black men and Latino men, ICE agents. Baby, what is in it for you?
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, what I thought to be so hilarious about this, outside the fact that these people are triggered by the sight of non-white people working for ICE, is the fact that the mainstream liberal media tried to convince us that ICE, they were trying to recruit white supremacists, right? That ICE ads were white supremacist dog whistles, right? Well, it turned out that a lot of non-white people heard those white supremacist dog whistles and decided to sign up for the job, right? That's the hilarious part about it, right? That's the hilarious part about it. They tried to tell us that ICE, that DHS, they were speaking in code, right, to recruit white supremacists, and they ended up recruiting a bunch of non-whites to do a white supremacist job. Hilarious. You can't make this stuff up. So there are people who are speaking out against the Black bourgeoisie, these Black liberals who are upset over these ICE agents being non-white and saying, listen, you should not put people down. You should not be doxing and, calling people out, humiliating them on the internet because they work for ICE, okay? Just because they're non-white and they work for ICE, Black folks are allowed to have these good paying jobs too.
Hey, melanated people of America, I'm going to need you guys to pull up a seat really quick because I need to talk to y'all. I'm trying to understand why this young lady has been posted all day and shamed by the melanated people of America. Why y'all so mad? Why is it that people can't live their life, make their own decisions for themselves before y'all jump in the comments and take their Black card? Y'all love shaming people over this
Man,
topic.
fuck that Black card.
What noodle do you have in this pasta? Because I thought we were fighting for sovereignty and classification on this land. But yet you guys shame people for having conservative views, having, I guess, law enforcement jobs. What else y'all gonna take? What else y'all gonna shame for? I bet you ain't gonna take away the Don Julio, the Popeyes, and all the other low vibrational things that y'all can't keep your hands off of. Can't nobody take that from you. It ain't none of their business, right? How about you allow people to have their conservative views over their lives or make their own decisions based off of what they truly believe? Let's normalize that. This young lady is someone's family, someone's daughter, and we have the nerve to be the most hypocritical people when we're supposed to be protecting our queens. But instead we shame them and post them all over social media and think that it's funny. Like I said and always say, all skin folk and kinfolk. And I don't need to be a part of y'all if what y'all doing is low vibrational. This is 2026, so I do want to say shout out to all of the melanated people who are protecting their energy, staying away from these type of battles and fights. You do not need to follow what other people that look like you are doing.
Yeah, well, listen, here's the thing, right? These people claim not all skin folk are kinfolk. What that actually really means, okay? They try to make it seem like, well, it's a black thing. Well, black people are supposed to think a certain way. The problem with that is that it has nothing to do with what is in the best interest of black folks. It has everything to do with what is in the best interest of the Democrat Party. Pro-black simply means pro-Democrat, right? That's what it means a vast majority of the time. These pro-blackity blacks, they are actually pro-Democrat. Let's be real, because I personally believe that black people working for ICE, getting these good-paying jobs and all of the benefits that go along with working for ICE is a good thing for black folks, right? I also personally believe that illegals being deported is a good thing for black people, right? I believe these things. I'm not entirely sure how you can argue that it is anti-black for black ICE agents to deport illegals, a lot of whom are not black Americans, right? If you're a black American, you're safe, right? I'm here to tell you, ICE is not your enemy if you're a black American. Now, you know, if you're African and you're here illegally, you know, if you're a so-called person of color and you're here illegally, that's a different story. But for a vast majority of black people in this country, all black people, if you're here legally, ICE is not your enemy. If anything, ICE is your friend. ICE is getting criminals out of your neighborhood, right? Again, I'm trying to understand what is pro-black about allowing criminal illegal immigrants, gang members, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize black neighborhoods, right? The south side of Chicago. What's pro-black about that? What's anti-black about working for an agency that is helping to get rid of these criminals from black neighborhoods? See, none of this stuff makes sense logically, right? When you think about it. These people accusing ICE of selling out because they're not going along with the Democrat agenda, right? It has nothing to do with what is best for black people, what's beneficial for black people. It has everything to do with what's beneficial for Democrats. Remember, these are the same people that cheered white people, white liberals, right? Allegedly calling ICE agents the N-word, right? We've seen this. We've seen ICE agents be called the N-word for simply doing their jobs. And liberals cheered this on.
Wow.
Did you catch that? They just called that black man a house N-word with a hard R. Some people may be shocked to see this, but this isn't surprising to me at all. Many leftists will call any black person that they believe has stepped out of line by not agreeing with them all sorts of slurs and names. I've been dealing with this stuff since the day I started posting online and saying I don't align myself with the left. When I didn't do or say what they wanted, suddenly the anti-racist, DEI, we're gonna cancel people for wearing cornrows crowd flooded my DMs with the most disgusting slurs I've ever seen. And you'll never see the woke cult advocating for canceling these types of people. Because if it's not obvious already, let me make it clear. Wokeness was never about advocating for what's best for black people or minorities or for anyone. It has always been about blind ideological conformity. And if you step outside their ideology, the woke cult no longer sees you as a human deserving of respect and dignity or whatever.
Preach.
The reason why the N-word is permissible
This clown here, man.
instance
Oh my
is
gosh.
that black ICE agent should hear the worst possible words coming at him. He should hear words that hurt him to his core.
If they call you that word, he'll start crying.
They really hate me. They feel justified to say anything to me. Only the worst possible words can speak to him making the worst possible life choice. Lots of people are saying, oh, it's a slippery slope. That's always a bad argument. You're not really talking about the situation. You're leaping to a hypothetical future. What if this man never again uses the N-word? Is it okay in that situation? Look, if you're an ICE protester out there risking your life to stand up to these thugs, I don't think you're MAGA. I don't think you're dying to use the N-word and you'll walk away from flinging it at that piece of shit and say, oh, I got away with that. Now I'm going to use it all the time. It makes me think of that viral sound where the lady says, "Yes, I know it was rude. That's why I said it. He knew that would be hurtful. That's why he said it." Someone said using the N-word toward him is dehumanizing. Yes, he is subhuman.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I want you guys to understand the logic from these so-called pro-blackity blacks, right? If you're not ideologically aligned with
he be on CNN saying the most outrageous thing. He didn't know Trump was in charge of the military, commander-in-chief. He didn't know that.
ICE is not inherently anti-black, right? Not anti-black American, okay? Not at all. These people who claim to be pro-black,
Being a MAGA is American.
against ICE.
American first.
I think
Make America great.
I think it is anti-black to be
That's what MAGA's about.
to be against ICE, okay? Because I think that ICE deporting illegals is great for black folks.
What you mean MAGAs do? We show the American flag.
So
We chant USA.
they're totally fine.
I rarely hear a Democrat rally, party, anything, them chanting USA. They always crying and boo-hooing, playing the victim.
With black folks being called the N-word on behalf of the Democrat Party, right? If it serves the Democrat agenda, not the black agenda, not an agenda that is positive for black people, that is good for black people. No. An agenda that is good for Democrats, it's okay to call black people the N-word. In any other context, though, it's not okay.
I don't live in Israel. I'm an
On
American.
behalf of the Democrat Party, it's okay.
Africa, none of that stuff. I'm an American.
But
So
again,
how I'm Israel?
These people will claim everybody else is
I live in Rockford, Illinois.
plantation except them, right? They're free, right? They're free. They would have escaped the plantation if they were slaves. But the reality is, they're
Chat,
the
that'd be
ones
funny, man.
that are the slaves, right? They're the slaves, okay? Let's be real. They're the ones who are still on the plantation, tilling for massa, because that's what that is, right? That's what that is. That you are literally acting as a tool for the Democrat Party in order to keep the slaves on the plantation, right? Any slave that try to escape, he's a sellout. He's this word and that word, and anybody that doesn't align with the Democrat Party, these people accuse them of doing exactly what they're doing, right? Seriously.
For y'all to call MAGA a cult leader, whatever you want to call this.
Simply for deporting illegal immigrants, right?
Y'all are cold. Democrat Party is a cult. Definitely that. I'm gonna go ahead and end it with this, guys. I done streamed for about 3 hours and 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and be back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys. Pray for each other, love each other, pray for your enemies. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. I'll be back.